Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, and welcome to The World's Gone Insane. Let's talk about it. Plus, this week, it's not Zam's TikTok treasures, it's Christine's TikTok treasures. I don't know why this title up there is. I did change it on YouTube, so I'm hoping, yeah, it's changed it on YouTube, so we're okay. Now then, been away for a while because I've been working Friday nights because of my job, and we're very, 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 very busy because of the elections. And
Yeah.
I've been stressed, I'm exhausted, I'm mentally shattered, and I've lost all motivation to do many, many things. So I don't know how often I'll be on this podcast myself until I get back to the right kind of not frame of mind, enthusiasm is the right word because I'm not in a bad place or anything like that. I'm just mentally shattered. Now, that being said, we're not going to sit here and fiddle diddle around. Christine, how you been? How's your week been?
Uh, Not bad, not bad. I'm glad to see you're back. I understand. I mean, I was in a position when I was in the army that I had to censor some of my opinions to the public at large, and I totally get it. So,
Yeah, I just had to, just avoid any kind of off chance of going viral or people kind of seeing my thing. So we had to kind of just keep a low profile. And but I tell you what, it was fun. So
and it's a good
what
break,
I had,
right?
eh?
And it's a nice break too.
Well, it wasn't a break. That's the thing. So I was still doing this, but I was doing it with members of parliament and candidates. So I basically we did what's called it's a hustings. So a hustings is where you get in all the candidates that are running to be elected as local MPs, and they get asked a lot of questions from the public.
Yep.
It was all online, and we had people in the audience, a live audience, asking questions there, and basically, we got to grill candidates about all their stuff. So I was still doing this, but for work, and it was a lot of fun. I highly recommend it because, like, the level of frustration I felt in the run up to this election, trying to get people to just understand the basics of local politics or just politics and all of that. And everyone's just like, well, what's the point? You're just going to elect like the same shit and nothing changes. I'm like, okay. And the thing is, because you have to be neutral, you can't just go in and say, listen here, you dumb fuck. Go to the hustings and you can see what every of these, so you can break away from the generic shit you're being fed from the media. This is in place. You can ask any question you want. And I said to him, I'm the moderator. I will happily put that question forward as long as it's not a repeat question of the questions we already have and all of that. I managed to convince at least 20 people. So I'm very proud of myself because I spoke to hundreds of people. So I managed to get at least 20 people to come. I was very proud. And I got to see them in the comments say, oh, hey, I actually like what this person, I'm going to vote for this person. And this person was Workers' Party, Green Party, Tusk, socialist candidates, even the Liberal Democrats who are like center had a good showing at these hustings. That's why they got a lot of seats at this election. And considering they were dead in the water after they sided with the last Conservative Party to, jack up tuition fees and all this kind of shit, they ended up coming back from like, they had 10 seats and they've got like 70 something seats. So they've done well. The Greens had a fantastic showing. They've got 4 seats in Parliament. Independents did great. All pro-Palestinian candidates won their seats. So only one or two, I think not all, one or two missed out. But there, and this was like why I was dying to come on last week. I still couldn't because I had to work because obviously it was closer to the election. But there is a shift in this country now. Sadly, there is also a lot of shift towards reform, which is like your far right party. However, as we've discovered as this election has gone on, they fielded fake candidates in a lot of places.
Well, like
And
Binhead.
so no, Binhead's legit. Like he's legit. He's like a center left candidate. He's a legit candidate. But they literally just created candidates with AI photos and said that they're running locally. Yeah.
How
So,
can how is that allowed?
well, when you don't have anyone to question their motifs and all of this, it's just. I mean, it's not allowed. They are going to get investigated. Hey, Rick. Yeah, hi. But how far will the investigation go? Because I mean, we
Well,
have
the government investigating itself, it's going to go nowhere.
well, the
But
thing is as well, when you
it
have
costs a lot first, but then it'll do nothing.
exactly. The thing with the reform is the moneyed interest of the billionaire class, and so they're very much going to be telling parties, don't investigate. You just carry on. This party is going to be inevitable, so stay out of the way. Of course, they're not inevitable. Yes, they got 4 seats in the last election, but they're in a position where they could easily crumble through their own antics, whereas the left is such a threat now in the UK that they're trying everything to smear them. So now, they're saying that the Greens are the anti-Semitic party just because they have a pro-Palestinian approach to that. The problem is that doesn't work in the UK. This isn't America. This isn't
Right.
Germany. It doesn't. If somebody says they're pro-Palestinian, everyone's like, great, I'm gonna vote for them, because even the far right will fucking vote for them, because everybody hates Israel with a passion. Okay, Israel has become a pariah state now. Nobody likes them. Everyone knows that they're too heavily involved. Like, they fit into that annoying Jewish stereotype of, like, their tentacles are everywhere, which is true for the Zionist sect.
The Zionists, not the Jewish
not the
people.
Jews, because the majority of Jews are against
this
the fucking Zionist project.
Right.
But the Zionists, they're far right. So far right America, far right Zionists, far right Turkey, far right everywhere, far right Russia. Tentacles go everywhere because they're the ones with all the money. They've stolen everyone's money, so they use that money to influence politics. You see with the billionaire class and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
So,
and I'm really glad Canada has officially said no money, no arms. Finally.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, because if Trudeau didn't do that, then the Conservatives will probably win the next election. I mean, there's a prospect of them winning the next election in Canada anyway. But coming out on that, because for me, I'd be like, if I'm looking at this from a selfish, sociopathic point of view, I'll be like, you know what? Sorry, mate, you lot are cancer. I don't give a fuck if you have all the money and influence, but I'm not touching you. And for me, politically, I could say, fuck Israel and I'll survive, kind of thing. That's how I'd look at it if I was just a brain dead center neoliberal idiot candidate.
Narcissist, yeah.
Yeah, narcissist. And by the time the next election comes round, Israel is just going to be like North Korea. You know what I mean? It's just going to be like, nope, we don't want fucking nothing to do with this. We don't give a shit how much money AIPAC has and all these Labour Friends of Israel has and all that. We're just like, no, you are just toxic political cancer, and that's what you've got to do. Just keep persisting, keep pushing the narrative. People are still protesting. Hi, Uncle. And, people still protesting. So, yeah, you're on mute, Christine, so I can't hear you.
I know, because I thought maybe there'd be noise in the background. My uncle's getting ready to go out on the 4x4, so.
Oh, sorry, Nerdiverse. No Zam, no watch. I'm sorry I can't be brown and beautiful like Zam. But at least you won't get flooded with the same old right-wing American chit-chat. You'll get some of it, but not all of it. But you won't, unfortunately, get Zam's TikTok treasures, which I've grown to enjoy quite a lot. Well, that being said, I want to quickly show this snippet of an article. And if I go to preset, share screen, is it this one? Oh, and this is why I keep saying to people, keep fighting, keep protesting, keep doing your thing, because look, Israel in collapse. 46,000 businesses forced to close since October 7th. Okay, it is estimated by Israeli risk management firm. So this is an Israeli risk management firm, Coface, yeah, that 60,000 businesses will be closed by the end of 2024. And so, look, just keep doing it. Just the same thing people did to South Africa just needs to be carry on. Just carry on. Just bankrupt them. Boycott any company that deals with Israel. Boycott any, like, okay, some are impossible, like Microsoft, for example, which is doing some horrible things, like permanently banning accounts of Palestinians calling Gaza to see how their families are doing.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought you were going to say banning pro-Palestinian comments and just saying they should stop the genocide. No, they're trying to reach their family members that they fear are dead.
They're trying to reach the family members that they fear they're dead to see how they're doing. And the minute they're contacting Gaza, they are getting banned. I can't remember where. I'll see if I can find the article.
Because you want to try and first see if they're okay, and second, see if you can get them a way out.
Yeah.
Like if I had family there, I would try and get them a passport to Canada and get them the tickets for planes and to a safe country to fly out of.
Yeah, unfortunately, they can't get out. They're trapped. The only way out is through. They've destroyed all the airports. The only way out is through Israel, and Israel are just like, well, no, because we want to wipe you off the face of the earth. So you stay there.
If I had the money and family there, I would buy fixers. I would buy guides. I would cross them over other borders if I could. It would be impossible, but I would try. But
yeah,
who
I'm sure you could bribe,
has that kind of money?
A couple of Israeli soldiers to get them through. Like, anything's possible, but it's right. Here we go. There you go. Right. Palestinians living abroad have accused Microsoft of closing, and this from the BBC. So this isn't some random website that people will accuse me of. Well, it's got a bias. Yeah, but the biased ones are the ones that tell the truth because they'll even go after their own. So please, let's stop. There's a difference between left-wing bias and right-wing bias. Okay. Palestinians living abroad have accused Microsoft of closing their email accounts without warning, cutting them off from crucial online services. They say have left them unable to access bank accounts and job offers and stop them using Skype, which Microsoft owns, to contact relatives at the war-torn Gaza. Microsoft says they violated their terms of service, a claim they dispute. They killed my, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we don't need to go into it, but essentially what's happening is the minute they contact Gaza, they're getting cut off.
What violation?
Yeah, there's no violation at all. What airport will they fly out from Gaza? Yeah, exactly. It's been destroyed. Everything's destroyed. There's nothing left in Gaza. It's all gone. And well, I don't even think they had an airport in Gaza. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. I can't remember.
No, I'm just suggesting I would try and get them east to another country that had, or south.
Well, the only way you could do it, but you can't because the blocks, like literally, it's a prison.
It is.
It's a prison.
So because other countries say we can't handle millions of refugees. Yeah. And I'm sure they'd like to help them, but there's so many that they're like, no, we're closing our borders.
And the issue with Egypt, okay, because it borders Egypt, is they're a puppet state of the United States. So they're just colluding with Israel here. And so these people are trapped. And that's why everyone around the world has to keep screaming and just boycott. And the thing is, it's boycott Israeli stuff to the point of their just complete destruction. It's not enough for them to stop the war. It is just to keep going until all the walls come down and Palestinians have equal rights and their land back, even up to the 1967 borders, which would be nice, and Israel just needs complete and utter, be closed off from the world and treated like North Korea has been treated by the West. which is, that there's nothing more to say. That
And in
the
Venezuela and Cuba by the Americans.
yeah, exactly, and unfairly so, But this one is fair. In the same way we boycotted South Africa, and people, forget, like in this country, in the UK, well, Jeremy Corbyn, prime example, he was arrested for protesting against the apartheid regime. Okay, there's a very famous picture of him being escorted off by two police officers, and he's got a great big placard around his waist talking about support for ending the apartheid. And so, just people do it. It works. It is working. It's Israel's going bankrupt. They're not getting enough money. America at the moment is just like the Democrats. If they keep supporting Israel, they're going to lose. Trump's going to come in, and then it's just going to be like, oh, fuck me. Because if Trump comes in, he's just going to be, here's a load of money, go bomb, just annihilate them.
And if Trump comes in,
he's nice. He's a lovely guy.
There's going to be Project 25 as well if he gets in.
That one's already happening with or without Trump. Like you've seen how the courts recently in America have kind of ramped up, like all their stupid, like weird, like pro corporate kind of stuff, and no challenge from the Democrats. Yeah,
and Americans are like, we're just the land of the free. It's like, but just test it. Just go and just test it a bit and see how true that statement is, because you'd be shocked. They're not.
They're not. And here you go. Look, Evil Witch. Credit card companies are freezing cards of customers when donations are made to support Palestinian charities. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'll Google it to confirm it, but I don't doubt that.
Well, then we should get the names out of those credit card companies and boycott them. Just start using PayPal or cash, and let them know. Write them letters. I'm not using your card anymore because of. If that's true. And I believe you, but we should always double check.
Oh yeah, I believe you too, but I have to always. Let me see.
You should always do, because I've been caught a couple times freaking out about something, and then it turns out to be like a half truth or just a rumor. I've been fooled before, so now I try and get at least two sources.
Yeah, it's been happening for a while. You know what? Which it's been happening for quite a few years now, because I've just Googled it, and you've got from 2018, you got 2020, like HSBC to block donations to Palestinian aid charities, and this is the latest one from the Squawk Box.
Fantastic. Is it Visa? Is Visa one?
So, UK bank locked its customers' accounts and subjected them to security grilling minutes after she made donation to the UNRWA. That is ridiculous. So that for donating to the United Nations Relief and Work Agency, that's not even a Palestinian charity.
No, it's the United Nations.
Yeah.
So if Visa is one of them, if you can tell me if Visa is one of them, I think I owe them like $300. I'll pay that off, cancel the card, and then send them off a letter.
Yeah, it doesn't state. Well, it's Barclays, so Barclays are Visa, so yeah. So, in fairness, some Palestinian charities have found the thing is, look, the problem is they're always going to say it's linked to terrorism, it's linked to Hamas, and at this point in time, I have to say this: Hamas. If Hamas are a terrorist organization, then so is Israel. Okay. I don't support some of the actions that Hamas have done, but at this point in time, I'm not going to treat them as pariahs in the desperate situation they are. And Hamas only exists in Gaza. They don't exist in the West Bank. Okay. And they're blocked accounts from what it says here to the UNRWA, which isn't even a terrorist organization. Some of them might have links. That's fine. I get that. But at this point in time, what is Hamas to do? Okay. What is Hamas to do?
And Hamas is just about outright off the face of the earth by now, because Mossad and the army itself have not only killed most of the Hamas fighters, but their family members as well.
Yeah.
So, and the
Um,
United Nations is not funneling money to Hamas. That's just not happening.
no, but that's when you're desperate and you have all the laws on your side, this is what you're gonna do. You're just gonna say they're terrorists, we're block this, Hamas are scumbags. Yeah, I'm not disputing that, but
And that's why
so are the
when
IDF.
Hamas,
And in fact, Israel is 1,000 times worse than Hamas are.
let,
1,000 times worse.
let's look at it like this. Someone else brought this up the other day, and they're like, think of it back when there were cotton, what are the plantations, and there were slaves, and the slaves had an uprising and killed their slave masters. Are you mad at those slaves for being oppressed and being beaten and being starved and raped?
Exactly.
I don't justify what Hamas has done, but I can see how it started. And they didn't start it first. There have been many massacres done many times over by the Zionists, like dating back to like at least 67, if not earlier, where thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of civilians were murdered. Their homes were bombed or pushed under by bulldozers, displaced. All their property was seized well before Hamas even existed. So please.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this has been going on since the 1930s, before even the state of Israel was created.
Yeah.
So it's just been an ongoing thing. Hey, Vance. Yes, I was just saying I don't think anyone was in when I was discussing. I've been away. I've been doing this, but for work, essentially. I was moderating online hustings, which is basically online, like it's not a debate. So a hustings is candidates are fielded questions on policies and what their approach will be, and that's what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks. And the last, I've just been working Friday nights as well. So
very fascinating.
It's been, it was very, I absolutely loved it. But I've said to them before, I won't be on as often on the podcast until because I'm just mentally shattered and just lethargic, no energy. I'm not in a bad place or anything like that. It's just my brain is just I'll give you a prime example. So today I was like, right, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go to Lidl's, do my shopping, come back, spring clean my room. I do Lidl's, I get back. Took me 4 hours to do 2 shelves, a Hoover, and the corner here where my TV is and all of that. I had a 4-hour nap. I woke up, finished the rest. I had no energy just to do basic spring cleaning. That's where I am. So it's nothing about the podcast. It's just this thing here is just frazzled.
And we want to be on here to engage in a enthusiastic way. So why come on half-assed, right?
Exactly. If I'm not in the mood, I'm just going to get annoyed and just start getting ratty and all this kind of stuff. And it's just no, at least I had a good 4-hour nap today. So I'm feeling a bit more refreshed and all of that. But yeah, when I'm in the mood, I'll be on the podcast. When I'm not in the mood, I won't be on. And it's all very last minute because my body changes so rapidly in terms of mood and energy. So I could be 8 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, fucking let's go. Then 8:30, I'm like,
yeah,
done. So it's just yeah. Oh, how was Malta, Rick B? This ain't just about me. I want to hear how it was. You would have watched the England match out there. By the way, small tangent, football. If anyone's been noticing, England have been doing amazing in the tournament whilst playing shit. So I couldn't be more proud of the team. It's another final, second final in a row in the European Championships. That's incredible. This Sunday, it's just all about the football. I will try and go to like a local pub, but I doubt it. I'll just be watching it from home and then, so
This
looking forward to
weekend for me is all about the WNBA. So,
Oh, is it the finals?
no, and it's actually outrating the NBA because of its most recent draft pick. But that's a long story full of intrigue and politics that I'll go into
Ooh.
later. Unless
You gonna do a
Daniel
video on
comes
that?
on.
You gonna do a video on that?
I think so, yeah.
You
It's
should.
pretty
If it's
amazing.
controversial, then you got to do it.
Oh, it is.
Excellent. Excellent. Love it. Okay, so on that note, let me go. I mean, I went on a Israeli thing, so I want to bring it back to British politics. So it was 34 degrees. Watched the football in the hotel. Looking forward to Sunday. I've applied for free tickets to watch at the O2. Oh, very nice, Frick. If I had the legs, I would have come and met you down there. Right. So those of you that are aware, of course, the Labour government has been voted into power. We talked earlier with Christine about the success of the Greens and independent candidates. So that is in total 10 candidates on the left that are now members of parliament, which is great. No longer shackled by the neoliberals of Labour Party. Starmer's biggest mistake that he ever made was throwing out the left from his own party because they caused a huge headache in the elections. Even securing Bristol Central, which is massive, knocking out the shadow. Was it the Home Secretary? I think it was the shadow Home Secretary. So she lost her seat, so she obviously can't do anything. And we narrowly lost out by just 500 votes to West Streeting in Ilford. West Streeting, unfortunately, is deep in bed with private healthcare. And that being said, they've only been in for a week, and we've already heard the mutterings of West Streeting. The NHS isn't working, it needs reforming. So here we go. More privatization, more bullshit. And ultimately,
that was a mistake.
I know. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. And so we've got that. Rachel Reeves on her first speech. No, we're not going to be building any more social housing. We're going to leave it up to the private sector. Great. This Labour government's going to be in bed with BlackRock. Great. We have no money to scrap the two-child the two-child benefit caps. That means if you have any more children, you don't get any extra benefits, which has plunged over 1 million children into poverty in this country. In fact, I think it's close to 3 or 4 million now. But we got money, 3 billion a year to send to Ukraine. So nothing has changed. They are exactly like the Tories in every way. Like Labour went from center left to just a right-wing party. That it's the end of Labour. So there's going to be no need for conservatives. If people were smart enough in this country, which they're unfortunately a lot of them are not, they would see this and be like, okay, let's go more left, but they're not. They're going to go more far right because they keep thinking right is right. And it's just like, how fucking stupid are you? And so...
And we're going to cut your taxes, but not for you, sweeties. It's for the 1%.
Yeah, exactly. No tax cuts for the rich. And yesterday, they allowed Thames Water to jack up our bills by 20% or £20 a year. So fan-fucking-tastic. This is great. So we've just picked up exactly where we left off. So there needs to be if the Liberal Democrats don't come out and shout anything and scream out against this, then their 70 seats are just a complete fucking waste. Because 73 seats is nothing to scoff at in Parliament, but it's whether you're vocal with those seats. And I bet you any money that the 10 left-wing candidates are going to be far more vocal than the Liberal Democrats. So let's see.
If I were in charge and I put my hat into the ring for the next election, my promise to the United Kingdom is to increase taxes on the top 1% by even just 5%, to shore up the NHS and schools, give teachers a boost, and to start making public housing again. And I think that would really cover just about everything that people need to have their life started off right, so that they can progress and grow on their own.
They'll kill you.
I know,
No, look,
but
so no, the thing is, so this is what I mean. Like, the hustings was important because all the left wing candidates said this. Even the Liberal Democrats were offering a lot of this as well, and they were saying, "Look, everything's been fully accosted. You can go through our manifestos with a fine tooth comb. The Greens said this, the Workers' Party said this, Lib Dem said this, and a couple of the independent candidates said this as well." I said, look, you could just go for it with a fine tooth comb. It's no different to Jeremy Corbyn stuff, which economists agreed even back then were like, yeah, this is sound, but we don't like it because it means we have to pay more taxes.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, the power of the media managed to fool people into thinking they're going to be paying out the nose. Like, my brother was saying, like, oh, I'm going to have to pay fucking all my money now is going to go. I said to him, you're going to have to pay an extra £20 a month on tax on your earnings because you're a higher earner. £20. You can wipe your ass with £20. And he didn't believe it. So I said to him, okay, until you read the manifesto, this conversation is over. He never read the manifesto. So I was like, okay, this conversation is over.
yeah. And
yeah, West Street, he only lost by
has
500, which is so frustrating.
And
Sorry,
your brother has a really good job, I believe, if I remember correctly. And
he did.
20...
He stopped working at the moment just to kind of like enjoy the kids and all of that, because
so he's wealthy enough, so he can afford the 20.
And he's worked his ass off. Like, I'm not going to sit there and say my brother doesn't work, because he stopped working because he just was stressed. And when his contract came to an end, he's like, yeah, I'm done for a little bit. I'm just going to take time off and just enjoy my kids, finish what I need to finish around the house. And then, because he's in high demand, okay? His position, he's not going to go anywhere. His last job, he was at HSBC. He was fixing all their like stuff. He's like a consultant, and he's doing really, really well. So he's always going to be in high demand. So he was lucky enough to be like, yeah, I'm going to take time off. But it's trying to convince him that I'm saying, you're just going to be paying an extra £20 a month. That's it. Mm-hmm. It's people earning $1 million a year that are going to be paying a lot more, and they're still going to be left with plenty of money to carry on.
Yeah. Even if you said, okay, you can earn $10 million without having to pay taxes, but every dollar over that, it's say 10%, you would make enough money that basically you'd have like better trains, housing, affordable housing, healthcare, schools, everything would just be covered, would be done with.
The thing is, Chris, when you put everything into the private sector, so you give them a lot of money, they're not going to build anything up to certain standards because they're going to cut costs to make more profit, which then means the government needs to come in and step in every time to bail them out, just like Thames Water and the billions were spunked away there. And every time we bail them out, they keep a lot of those profits.
Yep.
So it costs governments more. This is why the deficits have skyrocketed. They're not skyrocketed because of the NHS, because of social care, because of benefits. They've skyrocketed because the rich have not put in anything or barely anything into the system, but have taken trillions out.
And for those of you like in North America that don't quite understand what's going on, one example is the transportation system you have. Your trains are privatized. They do not do any maintenance or upgrades on those trains. They just reap the rewards. And when something needs to get fixed, they turn to the government and say, give us some money. So all the money made from the trains is going to a private pocket, but all the money that needs to keep the trains moving comes from your pocket. So make it deprivatize that, for instance. I believe also your water and
Everything. Yeah,
electricity.
our water was privatized in the 90s,
Yeah.
and it's cost us billions, and we've had nothing to show for it. And like I said, Labour government just approved an increase of 20 extra pounds a year to our water bills. Well, our council tax has gone up, mortgages have gone up, rents have skyrocketed, everything's going up. This government's coming, they're not changing anything. And I've said it before, and I'm at the point, and I'll keep saying it again. We've gotten to the point now where we have to unalive the billionaire class. It's as simple as that. We need to just go at them with the same vitriol the Nazis did to the Jews. Okay, I'm sorry to use that comparison, but that's how billionaires need to be treated,
I
with
wouldn't
blind hatred.
I wouldn't
I'd
go
go there.
that far. I
We
would
have
take
to.
their money, I'd put them on benefits, and I'd say, go get a job at McDonald's. You've always said all you have to do is work hard and pull yourself up by the bootstraps and you'll become a millionaire again. Here you go. Prove me wrong.
But the problem is, the thing is, when you have the money squirreled away. Oh shit! I lost Christine. Oh no, she's back.
I'm here.
When you have the money squirreled away and you're a billionaire, you can be like, oh, okay, my life's under threat, so I'm going to get the security forces or use that money to kind of change and influence the government. However, when you don't know where it's coming from, and people just fucking riot towards them, then that's how you can make much more, significant changes. To be like, okay, even if it's just like, fine, we'll give you some crumbs. At least that keeps people at bay. But the current system, so if you look at what's the common theme around the world is wages are stagnated, everything else has gone up, birth rates are plummeting, aging population, services are all privatized, nothing's turning a profit. Japan is collapsing. Okay, Japan is like, one of America's biggest bitches. Okay, and I just saw a brilliant video from First Thought, which kind of really delved into not just the plunging birth rates in Japan, but how basically when America said jump, Japan fucking jumped, and all this kind. So when they were hyper competitive in the 80s, they were forced to sign trade deals to kind of limit exports and all that, which essentially just crashed their economy because capitalism hates competition, and Americans don't like competition.
They
They
call
just
it
like to buy
monopoly
it.
for a reason.
Sorry?
They call it monopoly for a reason.
Exactly. And so, if you want to change the system, you've got to go up. Actually, the best way to say it is protest the billionaires in the same way we're out there protesting Israel. And protest them, harass them, don't give them any peace, make them pariahs, because this is all their fault. All of this is their fault.
We have a large company here called Loblaws. They're a grocery store chain, and there was this big push that on the 12th everyone steal from the store. Now, it was kind of a joke, kind of not a joke, because they were price gouging, and
Yeah.
they're making record profits right now, and they're price gouging, and everyone knows it. It's blatant, and everyone's like, I'm fed up with it. We're not going to shop there. And then it was taken a step further, and it was like, let's all go steal from them and show them that you can't get away from it. But I think it turned into, now we shouldn't steal, but everyone go to that store and take a dump.
No,
So
still,
don't.
it's your right, and I'll tell you why. When all corporations have, commodified food. All right, in an actual society, okay, in an actual society, certain essential foods would not be commodified. Your snacks and all of that, fine,
Yeah.
whatever, But basic essentials like flour, rice, vegetables, certain meats, and all of that should be food parcels that you get handed to you, like they do in a kibbutz,
Or
okay?
not taxed, or at least not taxed. They tax things here, and they some things don't get taxed because they're considered essentials. You know, one thing that's left off that list that has always pissed me off: tampons
Yeah.
and pads. And I thought, if I were in cabinet or in the government and they didn't, I put a bill forward to make sure those things weren't taxed. If that was shot down, I'd go to work on my period and I wouldn't wear one. And I'd
Fuck
wear
it.
white every fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, there shouldn't be a tax. And I'm sorry, actually, nappies, tampons should be free as well. They're essentials. Tampons should be free, or not even just tampons. You know, pads, all of
Pads,
that.
tampons,
Yeah, that should be free.
diapers.
Nappies should be free. Food essentials like milk, well, dairy, rice, you know, things like that. That should
And
be free.
baby
Okay.
formula.
Yeah, all of that should be free. Used to be free in this country. It's not anymore. You have to pay for it. Okay, we used to give it for free to families. Some can get it on very low income, but in general, it just used to be free. So yeah, all of that shit would be free. It's subsidized by your fucking taxes anyway. You know, like I say, like if I lived in a country where I'd pay say a 50% tax rate, like I'm half my money goes to the government, but in return, I'm getting well funded schools, healthcare,
Healthcare,
food parcels, you know, trains, all that kind of shit. I'll be happily
affordable
do it. What?
housing.
Yeah. What else do I need my money for? You know, if your society is functioning well under a good taxation system and the rich pay a huge like fucking top marginal tax rate like they used to, which actually helped build this country after the war.
And
Okay, you can.
America
Yeah,
after the
people will
war.
have time to fuck and breed and have kids, which helps capitalism. But if we get old and poor, capitalism loses, you know. So,
I mean, just look at after the war in the United States, the highest bracket was being, 70% taxation, and they had a boom in productivity.
yeah,
And the United States was, making things in the United States. It was growing. People could buy a home, have one person working from that home, have 2.5 kids, and a car. They could probably send their kids to a higher education. Not every time, but a lot of the time.
yeah. College was cheap.
Yeah.
Medical bills weren't nowhere near what they are now, kind of thing. Everything was growing steadily. Then the rich just were like, no, I don't like this. People
Yeah.
are getting too comfortable. They have too many rights. We have to take it all away. We
Yeah.
have to, the unions are getting too powerful. And that's where neoliberalism came in the late 70s. It started here in the UK and then it transpired over into America. And it's been the worst thing to happen to society since World War II.
Yeah.
Christine.
And if you think of, I think it's Herzberg's hierarchy of needs. It's a triangle, and at the very bottom, we need air, water, shelter, warmth, food. And then the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. At the very top is self awareness. So if you deny the things underneath that, no one gets to self awareness where we can, take a look around because we're safe and comfortable enough and say, wait, that's not right. We should change that. It's in the best interest of the elite and the government to keep us poor enough and just managing to stay alive so we don't reach the point where we can start questioning things and challenging what's going on and what's really wrong in this world. And that's what's being done.
That's it. It's part and parcel of how you do it. You keep people poor, desperate, ignorant enough. I said about my struggles I had trying to get people to attend the hustings. Like everyone's attitude is like nothing changed, everything's the same. So I'm like, that's because and the other thing I forgot to mention as well, I said, do you know who your local candidates are? And they didn't even know who the local candidates are. And it's just like that. And I did snap. Like I told my boss, and my boss was like, yeah, no, that's fine. Because you still kind of stayed like neutral. But because I said, look, the richer areas, the more affluent areas are always active in politics. They're the ones that have the higher turnout. They're the ones that take give a damn about local politics, neighborhoods, all this. Everyone, like, you know, people on streets on like their WhatsApps and, like, you know, messaging each other. They're all very active on everything local, and that's why they always get what they want. That's why
Yep.
these areas are the ones that get overpopulated, shack houses, garbage, while their areas won't take people like us in, and they shove you all down here because none of you give a shit about politics. I said,
Yep.
if you want that to stop, we're a higher population down in the poorer areas, then you need to get active and scare the shit out of people. And
Yeah.
that's what I was saying to them. The ones that I got through to are the ones that showed up to the hustings, and I'm pretty sure they're the ones that ended up voting for like Green or independent candidates. But I'm talking. Sorry, go on.
And even though they didn't win a lot of seats, that's actually okay, because, and I'll tell you this, the parties that have the majority seat, or actually the ones that don't have the majority but are second, what is it called? The opposition, will need a couple people to vote with them to beat the majority sometimes to pass one of their bills. So even though an independent might only have 4 seats, they can go, all right, I'll vote on your bill, but you're going to add to that bill something that we want for our people.
Exactly.
And it's actually a benefit.
Exactly. And so a prime example where you talked about they're going to need, you know, coalitions with the opposition. So in a lot of seats, Labour scraped by they've lost their huge margins that they used to have. So they, you know, let's say they had a margin of 20,000 seats. A lot of those got whittled right down to just their hundreds. So that means if they don't offer anything, which they won't, because they're very stupid. They're just like the Democrats, just really stupid. Okay, if they don't offer anything, then in the by-elections, which are in 2 years, they're going to lose any seats that have been contested by Labour MPs. They're probably going to lose those. Any seats in 2029, they're going to lose those. And Reform came second in a lot of those, and so did the Greens. And so you're going to have this split. Reform, you know, people are like scoffing, Reform only got 4. Now they only got 4, but don't fucking make the mistake of thinking that they're done, because they have the billionaire class, or even the United States is back in Reform. Okay, so I guarantee you by the next election, their seats will be 40 to 50. Okay, the Greens need to get their seats, and the Independents need to get their seats to that level. And the consensus now in the United Kingdom is be as aggressive and as zero fucks as Farage, because that's what wins. When the co-leader of the Green Party went on TV and absolutely blasted and told the absolute truth, they stopped putting them on TV.
Yeah.
They put Farage 24/7 coverage like they did Trump.
Mm-hmm.
The Greens, they have suppressed to the point where they lumbered them in with other. So in terms of who won seats, Reform won 5, Greens won 4, but Greens didn't get the same coverage as Reform did in the the drop down menu. Okay, they lumbered them in with other. This is how propaganda works. This is how you plump up your people, your candidates.
But what mainstream media doesn't realize, and I hope this is happening, is that they are going out of business, because a lot of people, especially younger people now, are going to the internet and looking into people they want to vote for, alternative news sites, and people are not trusting and not just Fox anymore. They're not trusting other channels and stuff like CNBC and stuff like that. And the new wave is going to be online. So I hope that people like the Green Party and the Independents start, because they're not going to be invited. That's true. To the mainstream, start really using that because it's an asset. And to go back to something you said earlier about gaining more seats and not underestimating parties like the Green Party, we had two cycles of elections in a row. And the first one started off independent and Greens got a couple seats here and there. And people were like, oh, it's a fluke, right? It happens, right? And then the next election, it was like they doubled. And they're in the mix now. It's not
Yeah.
just like the three top parties or the four top parties here anymore: Conservative, Liberal, NDP, and Bloc de Québécois. But it's like, yeah, Green is sometimes thrown out there, and even the Rhino Party.
What's the Rhino Party?
I'm not even sure, but it started off as sort of a joke, calling out, how shallow and how politicians were bought off, and they're like, we're challenging that, we're fed up with that. And they've won a couple seats here and there.
But that's how it is. That's how it should be. It's like never like as you said. So the next election, as long as and the good thing, people are perving over Keir Starmer and calling him Downing Street Daddy. Yeah, I mean, the liberal mind rot Rick B is just shockingly nasty. But I always make sure to say to people that, because I always talk about the left always infighting, arguing, all that. Not in the UK. In the UK, the left have a very strong united front, and they're growing. They are a threat. That's why the media does everything to suppress them. Like you say, look, independent media is growing at a fast rate. Even unfortunately, like the far right crap is also growing at a fast rate, because a lot of young people here, young men in the UK, kind of go towards that. But there was a interesting not study, was it a poll or something like that done, and basically there's a huge contingent of young people under 18 that are like want to vote reform or like reform and all this kind of shit. Obviously that will change as they get older and they realize, but women overwhelmingly are voting for left-wing parties, because women know what's up. Okay, women are a lot more clued up than the blokes, because they're just like, well, no, I don't give a shit about this saggy old fuck Farage talking about immigrants and all this kind of shit. I want to protect my kids, and my kids are starving and all this kind of shit. So, and just women know what's up in that regard. But regardless of that, the independent media is growing massively. Like if you look at Novara Media, prime example.
But they're going to have to change if they want to keep the numbers that they have now. If they catch on to the fact that people are leaving, and that means they're going to have to be more unbiased if they're smart.
Who?
The mainstream media.
The mainstream media. Yeah. It's over for them. I mean, they're done. They'll never win that trust back unless there's huge reforms.
Yeah.
And equal showing of left, right, center, and all this kind of stuff. It won't. But people, this election, basically just turned around and said, hang on a second. Of course Farage did well. You've literally given him wall-to-wall coverage, and even Starmer removed his own candidate, which could have beaten Farage in Clacton, but Labour removed him because they'd rather, people say, because that candidate was more popular than Starmer, and Starmer didn't like that. That's just narrative they're drawing. But the reality is the billionaire class were like, pull your candidate, we want Farage in.
Yeah.
Because we can give him wall-to-wall coverage, grow that party. That's what we want. And that's the reality. That's what happened. Never believe the narrative that, yes, Starmer is a small-minded, pathetic human being, but pulling a candidate because they're more popular, he would have done that with fucking Zara Sultana, who is a prominent left-wing candidate. She's only 30 years old. For me, I would vote for her to be leader of the Labour Party. She is phenomenal. Better than Corbyn, better than any of them. She is ruthless, aggressive, does not give a fuck. She still has a pro-Palestinian stance. They've tried to deselect her twice, and she's won comfortably in her elections. And so, you know, I don't believe for a second they pulled a candidate because it was more popular than. There's loads of candidates that are more popular than Starmer. That's ridiculous. It's because they wanted Farage in. But the good thing is, like I say, independent media is growing. It's growing at a massive rate. Novara Media, in just a year, they've gone from like 150,000 subscribers, closing up to 800,000 now.
I just found them today or yesterday, and
they're fantastic.
Oh,
they're fantastic.
Great.
And they're good, and they get views. I'll tell you why they get views, because even the mainstream media wants them on their platforms, because every time they go on there, they cause chaos, and people are just like, oh shit, I like these guys. And the more they go on, they're growing. Yeah. And so, yeah, Novara are great. There's Turn Left. They're great. There are smaller channels like Damo, who is just a guy on his own, but he's fantastic. There are loads of independent ones that are growing. And legacy media is just getting left behind. You know, nobody's watching them. Talk TV registered 0 viewers. GB News gets no viewers at all. These are right-wing, fucking Murdoch funded or right-wing funded news outlets. Nobody's watching those. They watch TikTok and all this kind of shit. So, yeah. And just to finish off, to say that, yeah, the left is very united, because it's very easy to get united here, because we're not. People need to understand the left in America, in the UK, is not like the left in America. The left in America, because it's a nation growing up on individualism, unfortunately, that also bleeds into the left in the States. So whilst they might have a collective mindset of universal healthcare and all this kind of shit, they still get bogged down on in small tribal things to say that, right, I'm left, but I'm this kind of left wing. You're not that kind of left wing, therefore fuck you. And you know, so they do that, and that's why they fracture and argue. Whereas the left in the UK, it's very simple: save the NHS, everything in public ownership, you know, free Palestine. That's it. It's that simple. Better wages, better rights, and that's it. There's nothing to argue with on the left in the UK. There's nothing. Some Twitter idiots might try to do that, but regardless of that, there are thousands upon thousands of people in the streets every single day protesting, united, and that's why they did really well this election, and they'll continue to grow.
Good.
GB News gets 2.7 million viewers, maybe online, but not as a broadcaster on mainstream, and that's like, you know.
Women's basketball gets those views.
Does it really?
It does now. Yeah.
Nice.
It didn't before till this year. But they're setting records just because of one player now. But think of that. People are watching women's basketball more than the news. So those numbers really aren't that great.
No, they're not. No, you know, I mean, again, this GB News thing, probably online, but even there, a lot of people would be the hate watchers kind of watching them, because it's just fodder for them. Like, nobody watches GB News thinking, yeah, really talks to me, you know. Or maybe they do. I don't know. You know, this country is just unpredictable. Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, I know everything. I don't know fuck all. I did know about how this election would go, though, because except for the Greens, I thought they were going to get 2 seats and ended up with 4, which was great. But I said independents would do well, and I thought, you know, Reform will get 2. They got 5 fucking seats, which doesn't surprise me in this country. But I know you like GB News. I don't know why, but that's up to you. But I just want to show you something here. So you look at this picture here, and you're just going to think, you know, this is, oh, okay, so this is what happened in Ilford elections here. So Labour candidate got 15,000, and this is from the Evening Standard. So this is an establishment newspaper, and then you're like, oh, okay, and then, oh, wow, big gap between them and the Conservatives, and then Reform, then the Green. There's only one problem with that. The independent candidate is missing from this picture, and they got 15,100 seats, but they're not shown here. You see, this is how propaganda works, Rick B. This is how they make the left look weak. This is how they write them out of existence. This is how they change history, by doing shit like this, by not even showing them as a candidate in the papers. Okay,
Which
and you can go check it.
just proves
Sorry?
that this isn't. It just proves to me this is not a news source.
No, exactly. It's like, I can't trust you, so I'm not going to bother watching you. Like,
Yeah.
again, I'll watch, like, people say, well, you're watching the left wing stuff, it's biased. Yes, it's biased, but they'll criticize their own, and they'll scold their own, not just be like, criticize them to kind of steer the ship towards what they want. It's to say, no, your policy's shit, you're stupid, fuck off. There's a big fundamental difference. So yeah, that's just how it fucking works. That's how they shut you off. And on that note, when I'm saying they changed the narrative, what is the new narrative now by the right wing? Because it always changes. So if you look back at the American right wing, what is their creed? Hi, Gary. What is their creed? Their creed is America, freedom, greatest democracy in the world. We're number one. What are they saying now?
Now they're saying they want a theocracy.
No, now they're saying we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic, which is still a democracy. We're not a democracy. Democracy is socialism. So you see, this is the narrative being changed by the MAGAs, because they know theocracy and fascism is around the corner and they want that. And now they don't give a fuck about democracy.
Nope.
They're constantly changing their narrative to fit their flavor of the month. So America, freedom, freedom, freedom. Now it's America, America, constitutional republic. We're not a democracy. Can't believe you said that. That's offensive.
And now if they want Trump in power, and they want Trump to be able to fire like tens of thousands of federal workers and be able to replace those workers with people that are loyal to him. I mean, that sounds like a king. Didn't they have a war over this, a couple hundred years ago? To get away from a king?
I don't think so. What are you talking about? That's
that's just a rumor.
That's outrageous. That is outrageous.
I think we're gonna have to burn their White House down again.
I think so. You Canadians are gonna have to go in there and smother it in maple syrup and set it on fire, because it's the only way to stop these goddamn crazy ass Americans. I'm just gonna go here to all the stuff that you sent us. I'll go into it shortly. Just get it all up. Oh, good. You got loads of shit here. Lovely, lovely.
And you don't have to play them all. I mean, some are quite long.
That's all right. I'll bung them all in there, and then I'll play whatever. I haven't seen any of these. I do that. It's not because I'm rude. I do it deliberately. I do it the same with Zam, because I don't want to know. I like to go in surprised, so I could just, So my reactions are always like genuine. Christine is talking about Schedule F. Schedule F. Replacement would destroy. Yeah.
Hey, Daniel, have you been watching Caitlin Clark?
Who's that?
Basketball player.
Oh, that's the one that's causing all the controversy, right?
Yeah. We both like watching, so.
Oh, good. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I'll show this video here that I have, and just bear with me. Yep. There we go. Okay. You don't need to hear the sound because there's nothing really. I'll play it anyway. Okay, so so basically, workers in Korea have gone on strike, and that is workers for Samsung that have gone on strike. That is around, thousands of workers of Samsung Electronics, the world's largest chip maker and Korea's biggest company, of course, have launched an indefinite strike. So that means they are permanently on strike. It was originally planned as 3-day action, but the strike has been extended to indefinite status. So far, over 6,540 members of the National Samsung Electronics Union, the largest union at Samsung Electronics, have participated in the strike. The union represents about 30,000 workers, or 25% of all Samsung employees. And what are their demands? These greedy unions, what are their demands? Their demands are for a mere 5.6% pay rise. That's it. And
isn't that just inflation?
Yeah, it's not even inflation busting. 5.6%. Oh, and we're talking Samsung here. One of the biggest companies in the world, and their workers and their bosses would rather, have their workers go on strike and starve to death and not give a shit, rather than yield to a mere 5.6%.
Which is just meeting inflation. They're not even wanting a pay raise. They just want to meet inflation.
They're just meeting inflation. That's it. Nothing else. Like Korea, is like Japan. It's spiraling into oblivion now. Birth rates are plummeting, low pay, shit workers' rights, all this kind of stuff. And these people are just protesting for 5.6%. That's it. It's shocking the lengths that companies will go to just to protect meager profits. It's just.
And their CEOs are getting billions of dollars or millions of dollars in bonuses at the end of the year. Record profits for shareholders.
Yeah. Record profits for shareholders, bonuses in the millions, and every year they have to show that they're an efficient workforce, so they fire workers just to prop up their shares even more. And it's just at the point now where it's not comical, it's not funny, it's not even something to be scoffed at this point in time. Companies that get so large like Samsung and all that need to become cooperatives. They need to be fucking run by the people, not just by the fucking few heads of CEOs who don't give a fuck about the workers at all.
Or split up, so it's not a monopoly anymore.
Yeah, or broken up, so it's not a monopoly.
Yeah.
It's just. Oh, there you go. Look, I have been following the news on her. Yes. We'll talk about that if you want to. I don't mind.
Okay, really quickly. Did you notice that Reese is padding her statistics? In fact, her last game, the other team helped her get her 14th double-double. It was so blatant that it was sickening. And not to mention that mainstream media like ESPN is doing mental gymnastics just to try and get Angel Reese in the conversation for Rookie of the Year when it's clearly Caitlin Clark. Every time she's on the court, she breaks multiple records. She just set a new record that's never been made before, both for the NWBA, the Women's National Basketball, and the NBA in one game. Her own coach is sabotaging her because the league's in on it, the mainstream media's in on it, because there's so much politics surrounding her. It's pathetic. And
why?
She's white. And before she even got into the league, other players were saying, because she was a college basketball star that broke records there, even men's records in the NCAA. And they were threatened and jealous. So first they tried to say, well, when she comes into the league, she won't be as good because she's playing the big girls now. And then that failed because she was breaking records. She was playing these all-star women that have been around for years and were called the goats of basketball, and she was just destroying them. And her style of play, she's getting 3-pointers, not just from the 3-point line, but well back. Millions of people that weren't watching this league before are now showing up. And it's funny because before this year, most women in the WNBA were pissed off, angry women saying, you should be watching us. We're exciting. Where are the fans? We deserve more money. And we want a profit share. Well, you've never made money in over 2 decades. Your league has never made money. And the only reason you exist is because the men's basketball league throws you, throws you the money. So now you've got a woman coming in and playing basketball and is exciting and refreshing. And instead of being like, fuck yeah, we finally got some eyes on us, our pay is going to go up too. People are going to know our names. They're bitter and jealous. Shaq, Magic, the Kobe are all saying, she's phenomenal. And these women...
Kobe's dead.
Not Kobe. Who's the 3-pointer in he's phenomenal 3-pointer from the NBA.
Was in the film recently, the Space Jam film.
But she's been compared to him. So these women are so jealous that they want to jeopardize what they've said they've wanted for over 20 years, which is fame, recognition, viewership, and a higher pay grade. So first they went after her saying when she comes into the league, she won't do as well. Well, she came in. She's just over halfway through her rookie season. She's broken every record. She's got a triple-double. She just set a new record yesterday that even the men's league had never set before. Even when her team loses a game, and keep in mind, she was recruited first, so she went to the worst team. She's still breaking a record with the worst team every time. But they just can't cite her for her stats anymore. So people on The View went after her first, and they said, oh, it's because she's white, she's pretty privileged, and tall privilege. It's like, now I know you're full of shit. Tall privilege? It's a fucking basketball team. And if you want to go with white and pretty, you know that 17% of your league are white and existed before she came here. And a lot of them are much more better looking than Caitlin. Caitlin's average to pretty. There are sexy motherfucking basketball players that existed before her. People are coming to watch her play. They've had to move basketball games to actual arenas. They've gone from maybe one television basketball game being televised. Now it was up to 49 this year just because she came into the league. They've had record sellouts. Tickets for the highest, best team were going for like $21 until she went there to play them, and they were going for an average of $91. She's bringing so much money, so much attention, and they can't stand it. And it's just the people that play, and it's just the people in the league. Because fans, black and white...
Yeah, fans are not going to be that petty and jealous. They're going to all love it.
They love it. And if you watch outside of ESPN and you just go online and watch all the sports fans, I've never seen one sports fan, regardless of ethnicity or color, say she's horrible. They're all like, you're doing mental gymnastics, and all you women are just petty. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
So this is how it starts. First, they attack her, then they fall in line because it's the inevitability. If you're going to sabotage your own league out of your own petty jealousy, which never underestimate the bitterness and jealousy of women. It is unparalleled. Okay,
It's
let's be
true.
honest. All right, but if you're going to sabotage your own league, and then if that happens, they'll blame her,
Yeah.
as well because it happened. But if that doesn't happen, she continues to grow in success. In the end, they're going to fall in love. They'll be like, "Oh no, I always loved her. She was great," and all this kind of shit. And she starts bringing the money. They're going to start respecting and all this, and she's going to be like, "Ah, fuck you, you pieces of shit."
And they've snubbed her for the Olympic team, even though she has better stats than most of the people on that team. She played against the New York Liberty that had 3 Olympic players on it, beat them, including Diana Taurasi, who's a goat on that team, and Grinder, who's a
Just
goat
going to
on
let
that
my cat
team.
out. I'm still here.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Now there's huge rumors that they're going to snub her for Rookie of the Year. And I don't want her to do this, but I wouldn't blame her if she went overseas and started playing there, because she'll get 5 to 10 times more money. And everyone's like, well, this is a tough game, it's a rough game, and when you're a rookie you get hazed. Every single person that's not in on the biased and sabotaging, like college coaches and fans, are saying, sure, it's a rough game, but you're purposely targeting her. People are doing blatant fouls on her even when the ball is not even in play. So
Jesus Christ, this is just pathetic. Gaz.
it is. Gary.
I guess. Yeah, I know about this. Yeah, because there was one situation, Paddy, where a person, she was nowhere near the ball, and all of a sudden she just gives her a massive elbow, and she basically goes down. And like the thing is that they're giving it to this other person, Angel Reese. Now, Angel Reese is black, and it's doing okay for herself. She's probably going to get Rookie of the Year because they have very. Angel Reese does have pretty decent stats and is pretty good for herself.
No,
but
that's been debunked by Christine.
Yeah, keep going.
But I'm going to say this, right? I agree 1,000% what she's saying, because it's like this person is bringing so much attention to your league, and so is Angel Reese. Both of them are bringing attention. They're bringing a rivalry. They generally don't. They have a distaste for each other, and they're bringing in viewership. As Christine was saying, they've having to move it from like places that have 3,000-4,000 people to like major arenas like
20.
20,000, 30,000. So that's impact. And the thing is that if you want to grow, it's like women's football here. I mean, like, it's taken a while, but women's football here is starting to. I'm not saying it's going to get to the same point that men's here, but it's getting to the point that people are taking notice of it. Even I'm guilty of this. I'm not watching them as much as I should do. But I do think that the women's game here is growing, and it's going to get bigger, and it's going to be one of those things where it gets to the point it's comparable to the men's game. It's never going to be the same as the men's game, but it's going to be comparable. And because they're great athletes, they're great stars, and plus, every single fucking time they outperform the men when it goes to competitions. Like, they got to the World Cup final, only lost that at penalties, and they won Euros. We've not even done those yet. We keep getting to finals and stuff like that, but no, and that's as the same thing with the WNBA. It'll get to a point where the men will start sabotaging it. They'll go, "Oh, we can't have these women showing us up so that women can do it." It's like, shut up, you idiot. You know what I mean? And that's just how I see it. But a lot of the male stars have been pushing this, like LeBron, like a lot of other people have been like saying that. But there are some guys out there for just stepping at it, and it's like, well, just let it grow, just let it be what it is. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's bring it back. The only reason Angel Reese is even in the conversation is because she's a rookie, and she's tweeted out, she's given interviews saying that she's moving the needle and she'll be the bad guy and the villain to Caitlin the Angel. And she's just trying to keep herself relevant. And the only thing she has been doing is some double doubles. You know why she's doing these double doubles? Double doubles are points and rebounds, okay? A lot of times she's getting these rebounds is because she misses the first time and catches her own rebound. And a rebound doesn't mean any points, by the way.
Yeah.
It just means you caught a rebound. And in at least 2 of her double doubles, one she was out of bounds for, but they gave it to her anyway. Last night's, the other team was losing, and there was like 16 seconds left on the clock. So her team passed her the ball. The other team went up and fouled her on purpose because they knew she needed one more point to get another double-double. It is so fucking obvious. Anyway, double-doubles, there's been over 1,000 done in league history, and there's been about 129 this season alone. Triple doubles, there have been 3 this season, and the season's only halfway done. Cece did one of them, and not off rebounds, off assists. And an assist means your team got a point or 2 points or 3 points, not a point, 2 points or 3 points. Not some rebound because you caught it because you missed it the first time. Reese is padding her statistics. Cece's getting her team points and wins. So when people tell me that they're close, please take a closer look at statistics and what those statistics actually mean. The only reason she's being thrust forward is because of people like McNaughton, who's an ESPN presenter, and her clear bias. Her mental gymnastics are better than any I've ever seen in my life. So, but I could go on about this forever, and I don't want to
No, that's fine. I wanted to cover it here so I know what was going on. I keep it broad. Look, when it's controversial, it's worth covering, and it was controversial.
I suggest go see her NC AAA when she's in college. Just go watch highlights, and you'll see some 3-pointers from the center line that she's doing. She's amazing.
I agree with that.
She even lost a game where her team scored 88 points, and she was responsible for 44 of those points. So, and then last night, again, she had 29 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 blocks, and one other thing that even had never happened in the NWA or the NBA before. When she was in college, she was breaking men's records as well.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's
great. Just watch her. She's fantastic. She's fun to watch.
Yeah, she broke the all-time leading scorer for not just the women's one, but the male one as well.
Yeah.
And that stood for 48 years, 49 years, nearly 50.
Yeah.
It stood for a long time.
Yeah.
And
she won the Naismith Award twice in a row. She just today, or was it last night, the FC Awards with ESPN. She was the only athlete to be nominated for 3, and she was nominated. The only other athletes that were close was a football player and a golfer that got nominated for 2 each. She won 2 of them, which is a record. Everything she does is a record, and she'd have at least 2 more triple doubles. Keep in mind, there's only been 3 this season. One were hers already, but her own coach clearly is sabotaging her. They're in on it. She got taken out of the game minutes before the end of the 2 games. Her coach took her off, even though she was the one that got them within a point of winning that game. leading to them losing both those games and her missing out on just 1 point for a triple double in both those games. You can't tell me that there's not something going on.
Oh yeah, stinks of it. Yeah. Just going through your TikToks here. It's too many Israeli ones. I'm not gonna.
No,
Play.
that's fine. And some of them are really long. So maybe just one. If you do one, do the shortest one. And or if you want to talk about something else for a second, I got to hit the ladies.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. No problem. You crack on. Hello, Vogta. I don't know why he's not joining us. Yeah, he sent me some stuff, but he sent me one link from Vorsh's channel, and I fucking refuse to put that alleged pedophile stuff.
What?
Dude, Vorsh, mate, that guy. Have you never Vorsh is so sus.
Really?
Yeah, like always advocating for lowering of the age of consent. Constantly, just dismissing what's that hentai kiddie porn stuff as like there's nothing wrong with it and all this kind of shit. Yeah, he's like people just again just because he's on the left, a lot of people dismiss it, but that guy is like I'll check his fucking hard drive if I were them. So I refuse to play anything from him. He gave me a liberal redneck one, but again, a lot of the stuff I'm getting is too much. MAGA stuff and all this. Look, there's only so much for me personally. There's only so much of that stuff I could tolerate because I can't stand it. It's the same shit over and over again. That's why when I'm hosting, I'll keep it to a limit, just because we've heard it all before. It's nothing new. It's nothing like groundbreaking or shocking or anything like that. I'll play some of the more juicy stuff, but let's see here. Research found stay up late, score better on intelligence, reasoning, and memory test. Hooray for the Night Owls. Yay! I wish I fell into that category, but I'm not even a night owl anymore. I used to be, but now I'm just like... So, prime example, when I was just like, right, okay, great. I've got no work on the Friday. No hustings on the Friday because we've got the general election, or I don't have to work to the evening. So I'm going to stay up all night, watch through the election, all this kind of shit. By 12:30, I was that's it. I was away with the fairies. I was done. I couldn't stay awake. So I was just like, the days of being a night owl they're just gone.
So I would just like to reiterate, just a 10-minute video on her college highlights, and then a 10-minute video on her WNBA highlights. And no woman has ever played like her, and it's exciting.
That's good. Well, hopefully it brings eyes and shuts the haters up. But let's move on here. I'm going to play this video here you got here.
Okay.
Somebody's been sanctioned by Canadian government. Let's see. Share audio.
The government of Canada recently announced it finally
Can you hear that?
sanctioned far-right Israeli settler Daniela Weiss. This was actually not reported in any major media headlines. I had to go to the government of...
Sorry, could you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't see this. I can't see you guys because I'm playing the video. So.
Okay, start it again.
This was written on June 27th. Government of Canada recently announced it finally sanctioned far-right Israeli settler Daniela Weiss. This was actually not reported in any major media headlines. I had to go to the Government of Canada website. This was written on June 27th. Canada imposes second round of sanctions on perpetrators of extremist settler violence against civilians in the West Bank. Here are the names of the individuals sanctioned, including Daniela Weiss, and here are the names of the entities that were also sanctioned. Canadian sanctions aren't the strongest, but what they basically do is freeze any assets that those individuals or entities sanctioned may have in Canada. It also prevents persons in Canada and Canadians outside of the country in dealing with those listed individuals. Here's a refresher of some of the things Daniela Weiss has said. You might remember this video.
Want to have for the Jewish nation the promised land from the Bible, from the Euphrates to the Nile. And I'm sure it will be.
And what about southern Lebanon?
If it is part of it, all of it. Even parts of Syria, part of Iraq, part of Iran. It's huge.
There you go. for anyone who wants to question the full intentions of the far right Zionists, which we all know this. Unfortunately, a lot of people are ignorant of it, and we're already seeing that they're looking to invade and attack Lebanon. So good on the Canadian government for doing that. More of that needs to be done.
Yep.
I hope we get more of this because
I was shocked. I was shocked that we even did that, because sometimes we can be somewhat of a pussy, and it's.
I think Canada is probably a safe bet that there's not as much Israeli influence there, so they could get away with it. But also, like I said to you earlier, sometimes you just got to weigh the pros and the cons, and it's political suicide to keep supporting Israel. And from a sociopathic point of view, you just be like, I'll put myself first. Like, no, fuck you. I'm just going to be pro-Palestinian because that secures my future, not just the now kind of thing. This isn't like, in America where AIPAC, they dethroned Jamal Bowman from his seat with a heavily backed AIPAC candidate, and they boasted about it as well. And so, again, countries that aren't America or Germany, because Germany has been even worse than America in terms of cracking down on protests. In fact, Germany has sickened me to the point where I'm never going to fucking set foot in that country again.
Yep.
Because their actions in the last couple of years have just been shocking. And this was a country that was on my list of my top 3 favorite countries that I've ever been to. I love Germany. I've been so many times. I always had a good time there. I love the people, but the actions of the governments and what transpired with Deutsche Bank afterwards as well with Greece has just put them on my shit list now, up there with Israel. So, and I have family in Israel, but even my family are just pissed off with me because they're like, oh, the stuff you're posting is disgusting. I'm like, I'm posting the truth. You don't see it because you live there. So you're just being, given far right propaganda. But I said, if you like, I'll send you all the pictures and all the evidence of what your government's doing and has done. I can send you the entire history of your country. I told you this back in 2014 when I visited. And even back then, you will still know all this kind of shit. So when I went in 2014, again, Israel did mass bombardments of Gaza. But the way the news was saying it was that Gaza fired first. And then, no, Gaza retaliated because there was mass slaughter happening back in 2014. Okay, this was when they raided the mosque and beat the shit out of people and all this kind of shit as well. All this was happening while I was there. When I got on there, I got to Tel Aviv, and then it was a long flight because I had an 8-hour wait in Turkey. Then I got to Tel Aviv. I had another 4-hour wait there. I was essentially almost 16 hours or 20-something hours just flying and at airports. And when we get to take off at Tel Aviv, so I go down to Eilat is where my family is. The sirens started going off, like, oh, everyone get off the plane, bombs are going off and all that. And I was just like, I'm fucking not going anywhere. I know these bombs are shit. They're not going to hit anything. They do no fucking damage. And if I die, I die. I'm fucking exhausted. You people have knackered me out. So and then there's an old man there as well. So I was like, well, these sirens, they go off all the time. I'm not going anywhere. Fuck you. Yeah. And so it was just us two. And then by the time everyone got off, the sirens stopped, everyone got back on. So it was that. But while I was there, I was hearing explosions and all that kind of shit when I was in Jerusalem. And it's just, so back then I was trying to convince my family the truth. They didn't want to hear it. And now they still don't want to hear it. They still think they're the victims. And it's just like, okay, I love you to bits, but on this issue, we're not going to agree.
Send some pictures of some decapitated infants.
I've done that in WhatsApp. I've sent them all the dead babies. I've sent them all the history stuff, and they've just blocked me. So it's just like, okay, that's fine. We can sit there like that. I said to them, would I, as a British person, deny the atrocities of the British government and the empire? No. So why the fuck would I turn around to a foreign country like Israel and be like, yay, just because I had a great time there. I did have a great time. And Israelis are generally lovely. But 10 years is a long time. And that world has been thoroughly poisoned since. Okay, there's a big fucking difference. And so, yeah, they're, you know, as I said, Germany and Israel are never going to fucking step foot in those countries. Again, fuck them. Cunts. Right, let's look here. I'm not going to play that one. I'm not going to play that one. What's this one? Aussies dumb enough to fall for it. Let's try this one.
So it's not Americans this time, it's just Australians.
Huh?
So it's not Americans this time, it's Australians.
Yeah, it's Australia. It's all, they're all part of the same bullshit neoliberal project, which is basically fuck everyone except for the rich.
Now, live. It's now running on every channel, every ad break. The baby and the dog were a good call.
They were, weren't they?
No.
Whoa, what's going on?
Punters online are all talking about how large corporations are driving inflation.
Oh, that's us.
Lots online about gas companies evading taxes. Truth. Exxon always pushes their luck. I don't think they've ever paid tax in Australia. Oh, they're still talking about how gas companies get over 50% of their gas for free.
Uh-oh. What?
They know that every resource minister goes and lobbies for a mining company when they leave office.
Oh, you think people have connected the dots?
It's not hard. Donate to politician. Politician makes law giving us free gas. $1 million mining job when politician leaves office.
Okay, don't panic. We've been here before. You know what to do.
Are you sure?
All of them. All of them.
Hang on. Fear level.
How far does it go?
10.
Turn it to 11. Is it working?
Murdoch's running it.
Murderers, rapists, and pedophiles from immigration detention.
Steady.
ABC's picked it up.
Crooks released from immigration detention.
Good. There's an argument in Parliament.
Yes.
He's put our country at risk.
That was close.
Do you think punters will go for it?
Hasn't not worked yet. Send Dutto a bunch of thank you flowers for me, will you?
Yeah, that was great.
I thought you'd like that. And it's
That-
not just Australia. I mean,
No.
But that's the playbook. But that's the right wing playbook. The right wing playbook in every country is the same thing. Blame immigrants, call them murderers, call them rapists. India does it to Muslims, okay, and to like Bangladeshis. Turkey does it with Kurds, okay. They every country does it. Every country. Greece did the same. Gaz.
No. You guys were talking. Sorry, I should have called you.
No, I'm done. That's right.
I was going to say, did you guys talk about what happened here when what's happened this week with Labour, where they've talked about the fact that the justice system is fucked in this country?
Oh, I didn't cover that bit. Carry on. I covered all the other shittery. I forgot about
so basically, Christine, it turns out that our prisons was it 400 convictions away from being really fucked. So basically, apparently, rapists have not been able to be put in prison because there's not enough space for them.
Oh, that part we knew. I mean, do you remember? I'll let you carry on.
I didn't.
So a couple of months ago, it would have been, or maybe a year ago, I covered it where rapists are going to get jailed and all of that. I did cover it on this podcast. Sorry, Gary, you carry on.
So basically, what Labour are doing, and I don't know if this is going to do, is if you're like a robber or a thief or something like that, they're going to give you 60% of your time. So instead of doing, let's say you're doing 18 months, you're going to do 6 months maybe, just to free up space. It's just like, and this is what the bloody Tories did to us. I mean, like, and Labour now have got to clean up their mess, and that's basically. I know that we've criticised Keir Starmer, but this is what he's been lumbered with. This shit show.
Yeah, I mean, go on, Christine.
I truly blame judges for this, and it makes me very suspicious when SA and CA criminals get off with probation or very light sentences, because who in their right mind would be covering for those type of people.
That's
People
not-
that sympathize or people that do those things themselves. And it's
Yeah, exactly.
not just in your country. It's in the States. It's here. I know that they're doing it too.
Well, the thing is, Christine, it's unique here because it isn't that the covering for them; it's the fact that we don't have any space for them. It's literally like the space in the prisons are so full that they don't have room for them anymore. It's literally like trying to put, and
Well,
that's
the
what's
problem-
happened.
No. You have space for them.
We don't.
You're
No,
choosing
we
wrong.
don't. We literally don't have
Okay.
space.
We literally don't.
But
we
you're
don't.
you're choosing to put people in jail that are robbing, right?
Yes.
Like you said earlier. So you're choosing the wrong people to put in those spaces. How's that? That's what I mean. Because
Right.
if it were me, if someone's a
Okay,
mugger,
let's hang on. Okay, let's just get this right. So, poverty has run rampant in this country to the point where crime has gotten out of control. We're not jailing burglars. We're not jailing shoplifters. We're not jailing only people who commit extreme crimes, robberies, SAR, all this kind of stuff, are getting jailed. But the problem was there was no because we haven't tackled the cost of living crisis. The things are getting worse. Prisons are getting full up because people are getting desperate, and all this kind of shit.
yeah.
Gross underinvestment in the prison system, gross underinvestment in everything in this fucking country. I mean, people outside look at England, they're like, Jesus fucking Christ, this country is like a third world country. That poverty, they haven't seen this kind of poverty since the Victorian time. Now, with so many other people in jail, unfortunately, you are getting people that commit R and SA that are either not getting jailed or getting lighter sentences. And we already have issues in this country in their attitude towards women who are R'd and SA'd. Okay. And so, yeah, unfortunately, they're the ones that are going to get looked at and be like, yeah, no, you tell you what, it doesn't matter. You go off and do your thing. And then they're going to fucking do it again and all this kind of shit. And because the patriarchal system of protecting people who know that, hey, one day this will be me doing this, or I might get caught and all this kind of shit. But 1 second.
Yep.
The problem is this government has come in and the prison system is a fucking mess where like it needs overhauling, but they're going to just reduce sentences, which means people are just going to go out there and commit crimes. They're not going to think, oh, well, this is tied to the cost of living crisis. And then the previous Labour government, where crime was at an all-time low, because they invested in youth, they did better programs and all this, even for a centrist government, they did a lot of things to kind of help tackle crime. This government ain't going to do shit. And now they're just going to reduce sentences to tackle the crisis. They're not going to build more prisons. They're not going to help with the cost of living crisis. They're not going to put these prisoners into programs to help with recidivism. They're just going to be this vicious fucking cycle. In the end, people are just going to be raiding businesses left, right, and center because they're not going to get arrested for it. Christine.
So the best thing in my mind that can be done, and it has a lot to do with what you just said, is investing in the youth, making sure people have homes, stable economy so they can get jobs, access to food and healthcare when you're young, and education. And that's going to reduce a lot of crime. It's not going to reduce SA and CA. Those are different crimes. They are driven to do these things. I don't know why. And they always do it again. Mm-hmm. So what I'm thinking, you're stuck right now until you get those programs back in place or make more jails or a combination of those two things. So until that happens, I would much rather see someone who's a housebreaker out on parole with a leg monitor, right? So they would get caught if they did it again. and have that SA or CA in for a long time, because
Yeah.
they do it again.
Yeah.
They all
No,
do it
I
again.
mean, look, I've said it before. People that do the C, the SA, the R should be life imprisonment. It's
Agree.
as simple as that. I don't take any lenient stance on things like that, because I know I have friends that have been victims, and it's destroyed their life. Okay, even just simple things like DA, okay, domestic thingy.
Violence.
Okay, all this kind of shit. These are the people I will come down hard on, or people that are doing robberies and shoplifting and all this kind of stuff. Those are the type of people I'll be like, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to sentence you to a long stint of community service, because you're going to work your bollocks off, so you never do that again. Hard graft, and basically, yeah, and just monitor them and all
An
this.
ankle bracelet. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no
So we
point
know
putting
if
them
you were there when something
in jail
happened.
unless they're violent. Yeah,
Yeah.
Gaz.
Yeah, I was going to say, and almost if to demonstrate our point, right? Something's happened today or this week anyway that demonstrates what's going on, right? So what's happened is that somebody who works for the BBC, his wife and his daughters got shot by somebody with a crossbow.
Yeah, so basically, so this guy lived in my area, and when this happened, Gaz, I basically woke up, and the police were going nuts. There was helicopters and all this kind of shit, and he was found just 2 miles up from where I live, in the kind of slightly nicer part of my area. But what this guy done, basically, he had held the family prisoner, the mother and the 2 daughters, and he shot and killed them with a crossbow. He'd also tried to kill himself with a crossbow.
Of course he fails.
Of course, but he failed. He's been in surgery since. They're trying to save his life so they can find out what the fuck, why he did it, and all this kind of shit. Because I don't know why. You have to follow the protocols. I'll be like, fuck it, let him die. But what else can you do? I know it's not justice for the tragic of the family, but here we have yet again. Actually, I'll tell you what.
Sorry, if it were my family, I'd take that as justice. I'll take that.
Gaz, I love you. You just reminded me of this clip from I've put it on my story, so it should be on there. Bear with me, guys. Oh, why
no
is
worries.
Yes, so Christine,
go ahead, Gaz.
Oh, sorry, Christine. I was going to say, yeah, the guy who works for the BBC. So this isn't like, so he does host commentating for the BBC and stuff like that, and it's just like to have your 2 daughters and your wife killed by some maniac, probably some deranged fan, or he's some sort of misogynistic prick, incel prick. He's going to be one of those 2 things, I reckon.
And you know what? If I were the dad, you know what? I'd rather the guy die in surgery, because I'm going to have to go through a 1.5 years of court. Then he's going to go to jail, and he's going to be up for parole in 25 years. And then when he gets out, I'm going to have to, have a plan in place so that about 1 year after that, I have to kill him. No, I'd rather him just die in jail or in surgery. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find this video, but
that's okay.
Yeah, I'd rather he just fucking died. Fuck that guy. Okay, so it's there. I'm just gonna send that.
Because I don't know about your justice system, but I think it's a lot
shit.
like Canada, where we
rubbish.
don't give enough to murderers.
Well, our sentence is bad. So, for example, somebody did so somebody tried to kidnap, rape, and kill a TV presenter.
Just use our words, dude, because we'll get fucking.
Sorry. So somebody tried to kidnap Holly Willoughby here, and the only reason he got found out is that he was on a website. I think it's called something like Abducting Your Crush or something like that, or Abducting Your Love or something like that. Anyway, so he exposed himself to a undercover US policeman that he was going to, that he had all the things in place. So he had like handcuffs, ropes, all sorts of things. He was going to use another day. He was going to chop a rope.
The art kit. Yes.
Yeah. It was just like,
And she's like a famous, very famous TV personality here, and he was going to basically, abduct and R and K them.
Yeah. So and he got, was it 3 life sentences? That's 50 years.
Oh, we got 3 life sentences.
Yes.
Good.
So
So
50
he'll
years.
probably go to prison. No, hopefully no parole. But I mean, look, we've granted parole to Gary Glitter, who was a notorious, basically child.
CA.
Yeah. Okay. Big time. Okay. He got arrested in Cambodia for doing it. Okay. Gary Glitter's like huge glam rock music star. Yeah. Okay. And the Hey song is one of my all-time favorite songs, and that fucking devastated me when we found out what that arsehole had done. But they paroled him. Okay. And the first thing he does, he goes to where he's not meant to go, and he goes online and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, fuck it, back in jail, you're gonna rot in jail.
Oh, I'm
But
shocked.
it's like,
I'm shocked.
I know, me too. It's like, why parole him in the first place?
Yeah.
Idiots. Right, I'm gonna play this clip. I'm just gonna refresh, pause. Good. Okay. So this is in relation to that man who shot the 3 women. Basically, this poor guy lost his wife and 2 daughters. It's tragic, but I want to play the video. This a rare moment of unbiased or not keeping your opinions to yourself from the BBC, which is shocking because they are the absolute cucks when it comes to this kind of stuff. Oh no, this is from Sky. They're just as bad. Okay.
26-year-old Carl Clifford was being hunted by police in Bushey, Hertfordshire, and in North London after 3 women were killed. There's a lot that we don't know, but there is one thing that we do know, and it is depressingly, devastatingly familiar. 3 women are dead. They were killed in their home. A mum, she was 61, and her 2 girls, 25 and 28, both in their 20s, that decade when you're working out who you want to be, where you want to go with your life, because for them, that's now over. A woman is killed by a man every 3 days in the United Kingdom. That number's actually been remarkably consistent for the last 20 years. Women are also much more likely to be killed by someone they know. 2/3 of them are killed by a current or a former partner.
And pregnant.
That word that somehow doesn't feel adequate, because terror can also happen in the home. The 3 women killed at home in Bushey, they were still alive when the emergency services got there. Well, yeah, Yvette Cooper, the new Home Secretary, has said the killings are truly shocking, and she's been kept fully updated on the case. During the recent election campaign, she said that violence against women and girls will be treated as a national emergency under Labour. Less than a week into the job, 3 women killed at home. It certainly feels like an emergency tonight.
Yeah. So that's news reporting. That's how it fucking should be. Just state the facts, be honest. And she's a woman. It could happen to her. Okay? When you have, don't open my door, close my door, close it! Sorry. My mom's going to let the cat in and I can't have that.
It's usually a partner, and it happens more often when you're pregnant too.
Yeah. It's just fucking horrible. And like I said, see, it's been consistent for 20 years that we've had this.
What out 3 days? Fucking.
It's just 3 women killed every day in the UK, and that number is consistent. And our laws have not changed. They've not done anything to address it. They've just been absolute shit here in the UK, and it just does my fucking head in. Like, does my
Like-
absolute head in.
Like women's shelters should be increased and resources for those women to get back on their feet after they get to the shelter, stricter laws for stalking, longer sentences for those, prior to the actual killing, but the,
beatings
or stalkings that they're doing, that sort of thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen. Again,
Yeah.
Judges go soft.
Yeah.
They go
Big
too
time.
soft.
I think, like, so on what you're saying, so with stalking, that would be an automatic 3 to 5 years in prison as a safety precaution, as a cooling off period, for the person to get away, to get safe, and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
That the victim should be rehoused, rehomed for free, no extra costs, all this kind of shit. Women, victims of domestic violence. I know we have women's shelters and all of this kind of stuff, but there should be. These women's shelters are mainly just they go there, they visit there. They're not like capacities to kind of stay there. So I would have centers for victims of domestic violence. You have the men's ward, women's ward, and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like huge rows of bed sits with security, with healthcare, with fucking psychologists and all this kind of shit. And if any of their partners even approaches that vicinity, then it's 3 to 5 years in prison. Like I would treat it like zero. When I say zero tolerance, I would treat it like zero tolerance. Like I would not fuck about in this instance, because I've seen what it does to people, and you don't even need to see what it does to people. And if you have empathy and understanding, you know how vile and vicious people could be. Okay, especially men. And it's just they don't have anything. They don't get anything here. They're just kind of left to rot. Charities have to pick up the pieces, and their resources are limited. And it's just not enough. It's just not enough.
It shouldn't stop just at the emergency shelters. What the next step should be is a system that gets them back on their feet, gets them job interviews, how to make resumes if they were homemakers, get some skills, some computer skill classes, gets them an outfit or two so that they can go interview. And while they're interviewing and finding that job, even if they just have a bachelor pad, a stopgap until they can actually get on their feet, not just get away for 3 days and then struggle and think, oh, I have nothing. I'll go back.
Yeah, exactly. No, it needs to be. That's why it should be, a women's shelter. It shouldn't be shelters. It should be like bed sits for them and their children to kind of rest up and get all the help within those. Is that like how we had asylums, but not asylums? It's just actual like shelters, but they're bigger with greater provisions and childcare and all that. And yeah, like I say, jobs, training, skills, relocation schemes, all this kind of stuff.
And for men and women,
that's what I said.
I know.
For men and women. Obviously, women are greatly more affected.
Oh,
We're not, we understand that. But yes, there would be also provisions for men. But the point is, on the flip side, the criminality of it. Oh yeah, I'd go ham on them. I wouldn't. I'm sorry, but in this country, like if you do kind of criminal like white collar crime against the rich, you get fucked hard. Okay, but if you do, if you destroy a woman's life, you're just like, anyway, here you go, a couple of years, 10 years, and all this. It's like, no, listen, if you diddled a kid and if you assaulted a woman, then it's life imprisonment. You've destroyed their life, therefore you shouldn't have a life.
Yep.
It's not hard to deduce. There's no redemption. You took that plunge.
Yeah.
It's like a murder, treated like murder.
Yeah, because you've killed the soul of a child, and usually it's not just one.
No.
When they catch these CAs, they usually find hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures and videos, and that they've actually done stuff too. And
Yeah.
when they actually catch you with one victim and say the guy's 80 when you catch him, it's not their first victim.
Nope.
No.
And
Yeah.
the thing, yeah, as I said, it's just ridiculous because like the thing is that this whole thing I think has brought into sharp focus what actual when Turf say maybe for women's rights. No, you're not. If you would, you'd be tackling this shit, right? People have. I mean, like, why are you not like petitioning the government to change that? If you did the same thing you did about trans rights, we'd be able to solve this. You just go, why is why is it 3 women a day get killed? Why are you not doing anything about it? Why is it that people and the change the law would change like that? I mean, the problem is that the newspapers and all that would stop supporting them and they'd start going after them. But if they did that, like you'd at least be on the right side of at least implementing changing people's lives.
I mean, the papers went after people who wanted to bring in laws for upskirting, and the law was being blocked by one lord. One lord. Why we still have a House of Lords?
Why would someone block that? Like,
Because they're a pervert.
yes.
Yeah.
Ding,
Because they're a pervert.
ding, 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 ding. You win.
Yeah. And they like that kind of thing. So therefore, they're going to block it. And
that's
also
what
the
they
papers
think.
were just like, oh, you can't block this. This is outrageous. It's a violation of whatever.
And
in the
that's
public
what he
interest
thinks
of
about.
upskirt.
That's what he thinks about the worth of women.
Yeah. But that's their attitude. Like, we haven't had laws changing sentences. We've had some changes in domestic violence, but it doesn't go enough. And I'm sorry to say as well, there should be zero cultural sensitivity on these matters as well, because it is rampant within the Black and Muslim communities as well, domestic violence. And you can't like be hands off just for cultural sensitivities. I'm just like, go fuck yourself. Listen,
Nope.
you can worship who you want to worship, but your religion is still dog shit. And I've always made that very fucking clear. I'm like, look, I don't agree with your belief systems. I when it comes to Islam, I agree with your 5 pillars. They're very good, but you don't need God for that. Charity, look after your community, respect, all this kind of stuff. But your attitude towards women fucking stinks. And we're no better. And we're a secular nation, yet our attitude towards women fucking stinks as well.
And that's what I'm going to say. It doesn't matter religion or no religion. This is a moral standard that our country, your country, all countries should stand for. Worship who you want or not. This does not involve or should sway anything to do with violence against anyone.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's just simple morality. You know what I mean? Let's see if Cheeto is about. Yeah, there we go.
He's not even breathing. He's not even breathing heavy.
Who?
Cheeto. You asked if he was coming?
Oh, sorry. My bad.
By the way, like next week, we potentially could have a special thing where I'm there live with Chansam or GG, but we'll have to try and see if we can organise it.
What? I didn't understand half of that. What did you say?
I'm going to be in London next week, so I might be doing like a live thing with you and Sam, but we'll have to see what we can do. Arrange.
Next week, yeah, okay. We'll have to arrange because like my fucking leg health sucks, so I might have to get you guys a bit closer to me.
Well, actually, I'm not that far from Sam. Actually, what I'm saying.
Oh, good. All right.
Because I'm in Easton and he's not too far from him.
Oh, you're going to be staying in Easton. Oh, that's not too bad. I can come down to Zam's and meet you guys there.
Oh, you can have a 3-way.
Did somebody say Cheeto's coming? What?
I said you weren't even breathing heavy.
No, I was waiting for you guys to wrap politics. I was actually so.
Yeah, we're done. We're done with politics. I mean, I like I said, I don't like going too much into the MAGA stuff because it's fucking rinse, repeat, the same old stuff. But I think we covered a much more broader spectrum of stuff
So the only thing I'm going to talk about with politics. So have you guys seen the Twitch channel that's doing the AI Biden and Trump?
No, is it good?
Oh my God! I sent it in our contributors chat. Hold on, I'll bring it up really quick.
Bring it up.
5 minutes on this thing. Like 5 minutes on this thing, and you will just lose your shit. Like it is. Hold on.
Put it on.
And then we can talk Marvel. But I've been meaning to ask you guys about this, and it's just the first time I've been able to be on here. Share audio.
I know.
I'll be lathering myself in expired mayo and diving face first into a pile of bread. Now scram before I decide to probe your uncontacted mind with a selfie stick. This message is brought to you by Dark Brandon. The only thing scarier than finding a dead hobo inside a giant birthday cake.
You couldn't be more wrong if you tried. Trump loves a lot of things. He loves winning. He loves making America great again. And most importantly, he loves grabbing the bull by the horns and taking charge. So don't make assumptions about what Trump does or doesn't love, because believe me, nobody knows better than him. As for you, next canon agent with your little Bazinga comment. Well, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but Sleepy Joe's running on empty when it comes to jokes. The only thing that's Bazinga around here is Biden trying to string two coherent sentences together without getting lost in his own senile mind. But hey, let's not forget the true stars of this show. My fixations. Did the pure gold bathroom. Now we're talking, or how about holographic copies of myself? Talk about an egotistical fantasy come true. And don't even get me started on Big McSauce bathtubs. So keep those messages rolling, folks. Just remember you're
this
doling out
runs
tremendous
like
insults and savage comebacks
24/7.
like no one else can. Listen here, you numbnuts. Biden, you senile sack of peanuts, don't be fooling yourself into thinking I love grabbing anything that can't scream fake news. In my face and chat, you bunch of keyboard warriors thinking your pathetic little Bazingas will get under my skin? You're dumber than a rock. But let me tell you something, folks. While Sleepy Joe over there is fixated on golden showers and holographic copies, seriously, what the actual hell? I'm focused on important things like making America great again and keeping our borders secure. So while Biden's lost in his own senile mind, trying to string two coherent sentences together
I love how he
without
repeats
getting lost
himself.
like he went skinny dipping in a septic tank filled with burger debris, I'm right here dropping truth flapjacks so heavy they'll make your head spin faster than James Bond to send women aside. After a night of debauchery, so take your Bazingas and shove them where Lady Gaga keeps her meat dress. Y'all are faker than a $3 bill sliding down one of Hunter Biden's hidden glory holes. Oh, buzz off.
That was brilliant.
Max movie ain't Sonic. You want to
Why is he
Bazinga
talking
the
so
fuck
much?
out of the White House.
Look, these two would go
Really?
back and forth, and it's just
How about we let
absolutely
Optimus
donation.
Prime take over instead and turn that dump into Autobot headquarters? And for
Autobot
Sleepy Joe, I hear Twilight Sparkle has some video files of him singing the My Little Pony theme song in his sleep. You can join him in Dreamland while Michael Bay blows shit up as president. No need to mention Sonic the Hedgehog becoming president, though. He's got to go fast away from politics. So get your facts straight before spouting nonsense, Max a movie at Sonic. And don't worry, I won't let Biden ruin our dreams with his senility. Unless you want a bedtime story about how Trump kicks ass and takes names.
Well, look at you, Trumpy boy, desperately trying to make a case for Optimus Prime taking over the White House. I've got to hand it to you. It takes a special kind of delusion to think that giant transforming robots would be an improvement over your dumpster fire presidency. But here's the thing, Donnie dear. While Twilight Sparkle might have some sleepover footage of me singing the My Little Pony theme song, hey, don't knock my musical talent. Hey, don't knock my musical talent. I doubt anyone wants to join your snooze fest in Dreamland. And as for Michael Bay blowing shit up as president, well, we all know how badly he botched those Transformers movies. Now let's address Max Movie Sonic's desire to Biden the fuck out of the White House. You really think Sheldon Cooper is going to swoop in and save the day? Please. Even his nerdy antics wouldn't be enough to fix your mess. So here's what I propose. Instead of turning our government into a fictional circus act or relying on failed Hollywood directors, how about we focus on real issues and restoring dignity and sanity to this country? Okay,
No, good. Yeah, you
let
can
me tell you
end that
about
there.
my policy on Ubuvuevue on Way.
What'd you say?
Christine.
Just really quickly, remember Trump, I know you don't like politics, so I'll just make it quick. Trump was on Fox News and was asked if he was going to unseal the JFK files and another set of files, and then the Epstein files. The first two, he said, yes, yes. And then it came to the Epstein files, and he's like, I don't know. There could be.
Oh, yeah, that was an
you know,
interview a while ago, wasn't it?
yeah, but I'm going somewhere.
Oh, okay.
There could be some lies in there, or some, you know, fake news sort of thing. Well, the Epstein files have been released, and guess whose name is all over it?
Joe Biden's?
No. Trump.
Yeah, it was the one about him doing something with a 12-year-old girl and all this kind of stuff.
Oh,
that's transpired. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, so that AI thing, like,
anyway,
I was gonna say that AI thing, I just leave it on in the background sometimes when I'm working on stuff, just listening to them go back and forth, and like just the random shit they come up with is just absolutely hilarious.
I'm gonna follow that channel. You put it in the chat, yeah, in the group thing.
It was a while ago. I'll redo it.
Please, yeah, paste the link back in there, so I'll just go give them a follow. Okay, well, on that note, we are going to be moving on to some TV stuff. There's not really that much to talk about. However, I can't play it because I don't want to risk copyright, but the new trailer for Captain America 4, or Captain America Sam Wilson's Captain America dropped.
New
Brave New World is what it's officially called, but
what?
Brave New World.
Brave New World.
It used to be New World Order, but I think they got tired of all the Hulk Hogan memes, so
they've changed it to Brave New World. And the trailer dropped. It looks very cheap, but it's basically Captain America 2 remade.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I got.
I think it's going to be Captain America 2 with like Hulk people, because the leader's supposed to be in it too. So
yeah.
So I mean, like, it's going to be Captain America 2 with Hulk people, and that's kind of it. That's the impression I got. I want to give Sam Wilson a chance, though. I really do. I like him as Captain America.
Yes.
Oh, it's nothing against. Again, nothing against Anthony Mackie, nothing against Sam Wilson, Captain America. The point I'm making is, you see the bit with Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah Bradley does something, he's off. So that's going to be like Sam Wilson trying to protect Isaiah Bradley, just like we have with the Winter Soldier stuff, all this kind of shit. So, and New World Order, all this kind of shit. So Hydra. So it's all that. However, it's a political thriller. It's politics. I'm in. Presidents, world orders, plus the Red Hulk, all this kind of shit. So I'm in. I'm not criticizing. I'm criticizing it because it's a carbon copy, but it's a good carbon copy. It's something that, like, I'm like, yes, I'll definitely be giving it a shot. Like,
me too. Because I wanted to see, because you know that the rights out there were going, oh, it's a black guy being Captain America. It's just like yes, I want more. I want more of what we got, because that looked great. That's what he should be. He should look like Harrison Ford. Looked like he was fitted into the role of Thunderbolt Ross pretty well. I wish it was William Hurt, but hey, he's on with us. But yeah, I'm for this.
Yeah, Cheeto.
I don't like Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross. I really don't. No. I'm sorry. Like, they should have tried. I know they were maybe going for somebody popular for the movie, but like maybe that's what they were doing. But like, I think they should have gone for somebody else who maybe invoked more of a William Hurt energy. You know, I know he's not here with us anymore, so I don't blame them for recasting him. But it's just like
Stephen Lang. I would have put Stephen Lang in.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Yeah, that would have been good. But still, like, yeah, they need to invoke more of a William. Like a William Hurt energy, not a Harrison Ford grumpy old man energy.
Yeah, it's a bad casting choice in that regards.
And it's honestly a waste, in my opinion. Because Harrison Ford, let's be real, he's in his 80s, right? Or at least late 70s. It's like,
which makes him the perfect age to be president. Let's be honest.
Okay, in America, yeah. I mean,
yeah. So that's why they cast him, because they're like, yeah, he's about Joe Biden's age. We'll bung him.
Yeah,
in.
like no, but they can't use him they're not going to be able to use him long term. Let's be real. Like Harrison Ford is.
Harrison Ford is going nowhere. That guy is going to hit 100 comfortably. Like he's in,
but he's not going to be acting for that long. I don't think he's going to be acting that long.
I don't know. I can't comment on that, but I can tell you, like, unless he gets like cancer or anything like that, or he blows himself up in an aircraft because he's very accident prone, then he's going to be around for a long time to come.
Air Force One, too.
He's just not the right fucking actor for that role.
I just looked at old Power Young. He's 81.
What?
He's 81.
He's 81. Yeah, we know. Yeah.
That's so. Do you guys want to know kind of my thought on how they should have handled the whole William Hurt thing? I think they should have recast with a younger actor. I think what they should have done is they should have had him use the serum, had it, because obviously it's going to be Thunderbolt Ross as the Red Hulk. I mean, if it's not, then they're trying to throw a curveball, and I'm not going to like it. But I think that should have basically changed his look enough to and made him look a bit younger, like rejuvenated him a bit. And so you can cast not a young actor. I'm talking like somebody in their 40s, maybe. You know what I mean? Like somebody a bit younger than William Hurt was, and still invokes that same energy. So it's like, okay, maybe you do a CGI William Hurt, or maybe you do Harrison Ford, but when he takes the serum, he gets younger, and he looks younger, and he gets more fit, and as a 40-year-old guy. It's just it was a way that I could see them going about it, but they would have to get somebody who again ensues William Hurt energy.
Yeah, I think this is just not the right move on their part. But it'll be interesting to see how this film turns out, because there's been a lot of reshoots, rewrites. It's been a mess, but then everything's been going under reshoots, rewrites. Everything's been a fucking mess.
That's like Donnie said earlier, that Kevin Feige's taken the bull by the horns recently, and he's I think cutting back on the amount of stuff has just made life easier for Kevin Feige, so that he can focus on the bigger projects.
I mean, you guys see the trailer for Agatha?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it looks awful. I at first I saw it, I'm like, oh no. I'm like,
I felt sorry for Catherine Hahn because she's really good.
It's such a massive gay stereotype as well. Like, it's just no thanks.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no point to this show, in my opinion.
There's no point. No, Gaz, I've got you first, then Christine.
I was just gonna say, Agatha looked rubbish, and I agree with what you two were saying. Like, they've well scaled back. I mean, I think this year we've only had this. I'm trying to think what other Marvel stuff we've had.
Logan,
nothing.
I think Logan.
Oh no, it's not Logan. Last year. Whoops, I forget. It's like July.
Yeah. So we've only had this. So I mean, and Agatha looks rubbish. I mean, I wanted it to be good, but I feel sorry for Catherine Hahn. But apart from that, Christine.
Yeah, I mean, yes, the good thing is, Christine, go ahead, I'll just clip this in, that, they stuck this in around the Halloween season, so it should get some eyes on it, but I don't really give a shit.
They could have made it just like a Halloween special, like Werewolf by Night. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been a special feature. Like, we don't need a show.
Yeah. All right, shut up now, let Christine
Yeah,
talk.
I'm sorry.
Has everyone seen the Time Bandits trailer?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it looks really good. I like Lisa Kudrow, and I think her humor really is going to fit into this character.
So I'll say this about the film. Should never been remade. It's an absolute classic. I don't know if you ever saw the original.
Yep.
Which is absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. But I'll say this about the new one. It doesn't look nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to look. Okay, I think Taika Waititi should do well with this premise, because this is essentially Thor for him, how he would wanted it to be done. As a kid, if I saw a trailer to this, I'd be hyped. I think this is going to be an excellent kids film that will be as legendary for them as Time Bandit was for us. It give me that vibe, and I hate saying that because this film should never have been touched, but you have to be honest with it. So I hope it's good. I hope they do justice. But I'll say this: for political correctness reasons, they robbed a whole lot of little people from work.
Yeah,
and that was the biggest mistake. They should have had the little people in there. Not reprising the roles because all of them have passed away, sadly, or they're too old. But they should have had little people as the Time Bandits. That's what made it work. That's what made it great. They weren't, they weren't mocked or taken a piss out of back then. It was just who they were, and it was great. It worked, and it was work for them. But when you do political correctness, just for liberal pats on the back, you're actually robbing people of work. And Lord knows they need the work.
I think that they could have gone with Little People for sure. I think it was a classic. I thought they were in danger of remaking a classic anytime you try and remake a classic. But I think this one is just different enough and still sort of plays homage to the original, at least from what I saw in the trailer, that it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Gaz.
I was just going to say, it is a classic, and I'm surprised that they're making it because, there's films that Terry Gilliam's made that didn't do too well that I thought they could do a remake on. Like, for example, The Brothers Grimm or something like that. That could work well in a TV series where, each episode is a different fairy tale. That could work really well in that sort of thing. And it didn't really do well in the box office, so that would probably lend itself well to what Taika Waititi does, where he's trying to do kind of a little bit of a kooky retelling of the old stories that we're familiar with.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Vance on this one here. Taika is the comedy, which Shyamalan is the horror, hit or miss. I wouldn't go that far because Shyamalan's got one good fucking film. The rest of his stuff is garbage for me personally. So I might argue this. Oh no, I'd say he's got 3 good films, and the rest are dog shit. Whereas Taika Waititi, his only films got shit after he did Ragnarok. So Ragnarok was shit. Jojo Rabbit was good. Love and Thunder was dog shit. And the last film he did, the football one, was fucking boring as shit.
But we have to be honest about it, Ginger. A lot of people loved Ragnarok. Yes, we hate it. Me and you hate it for sure.
Yeah.
But
but it was to his detriment because his ego got out of control and it's affected his work ever since.
Yeah, because what Ragnarok did is facilitated Love and Thunder, and everybody agrees Love and Thunder is not a good movie.
Yeah, exactly. Love and Thunder destroyed. Hopefully, it definitely derailed his career because he lost his Star Wars project, which is good, and I hope that Time Bandits puts him on the right path to say, okay, and I'm okay with Waititi going more into kid stuff because I think he is a good fit for that, for doing kid stuff. I think he could be.
Well, he tried that in Love and Thunder,
yeah,
that's what he wants to do.
Right. But I think, outside of the Marvel stuff, if he did the kid stuff, with Time Bandits or even his own kind of stuff, I think it's a good fit for his personality because he is that has a mind of a child, and it could work really, really well. He could be this children's generation of Spielberg. Lord knows we don't have any. Spielberg did some fucking great kid stuff for the 80s, legendary shit. And there isn't that. There's that gap. And I think Waititi could fit that gap perfectly. Christine?
I think also if you watch the trailer, and I hope they didn't save all the jokes just for the trailer, but Lisa Kudrow doesn't have a lot of range, but her range really did seem to fit her character or this role for this film, or this series, I should say, because her delivery, her character, it suited my liking of comedy. I'm looking forward to seeing her.
Kudrow's style of comedy and acting, I personally love it. Like the way she delivers it. Yes, she's one-dimensional, but it still works. Like I can't have Matthew Perry style comedy 30 years later. I barely tolerated it back when Friends was around, but Kudrow's, I could tolerate it. Like even in Friends, like I still think she was like funny even as the quirky one. But in the films that she's done since, and she's had a fantastic film career, she's just knocked it out of the park. Like nobody ever saw Kudrow and said her performance was shit. In this, she'll probably be the standout as well. And so it's great to see her in that role. I think she's going to knock out the park. I just wanted that role to go to Little People like it did in the original. But, you know, I don't like Friends either, Rigby. I loved it back in the day, but I tried rewatching it, and it just hasn't aged well for me. But, you know, that's not really relevant. But, yeah, I hope it does. It does bits. We also have Wolverine Deadpool around the corner, which, by the way, I don't give a shit. If I'm being honest, I haven't booked a ticket.
Me and Kai still have that bet on because I still think it's going to be
make money.
Oh yeah, it's going to make money, and honestly, I am excited for it. The more I see for it,
yeah, I'm not like even sticking Sabretooth in. I was just like, I think for me, like my hype. Oh, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. Like my hype for films is practically dead nowadays. Like if it's not A24, I'm just not going to watch it because I'm just tired of the same old shit. And even with like the Marvel stuff and their format, I don't watch films. Like I'll barely make 10 films in a year. I prefer like TV series now way more than I do films. Christine.
I don't care who they put in the film with Deadpool 3. I just fucking love Deadpool and the humor of Ryan Reynolds. It fucking kills me every time.
Okay. Well, you're Canadian, so we'll allow that to you.
I'm a little biased, but also like I'm not going to say it'll make a great movie, but I'm saying he's that good. He'll make it up for me, even if it's just a little bit, because he's funny. It's funny as hell.
She's just excited to see Hugh Jackman running around with the sleeves off.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
No, honestly, no.
I'll be more excited to see what they do with Sabretooth than anything else. Gaz.
Yeah, he'll probably do. I suppose. I mean, like my prediction of a flop may not come true, but as I said, I just feel that he'll just do what number 2 did and just do a bit more. Because I thought, well, 2 was fine, and I thought they just went a bit too far with it. But say that though, I thought it was okay. Yeah, I see the advert. I think it was okay. I mean, it's not my kind of humor. It wasn't like the masterpiece that the first one was, which I thought that's just how you do that.
The first one was great because they kind of like didn't go too over the top. The second one was too many Reynoldsisms, and I find Ryan Reynolds does my head in. He exhausts me. Like people like that, they exhaust me because it's not good comedy when you're just constantly doing the same fucking joke and you're beating it to death within the scene. It's just like dial it back, deliver it every now and then, not all the fucking time. It's like he's got sitcom rock brain in him, and it drives me mental. Like I like the dudes, but I'm not excited to watch anything he's in. You know, it works with Deadpool to a degree, but he needs to dial that back as well, and he needs to like have a lot more like kind of heart and a lot more like higher stakes in this for me to kind of buy into it. Otherwise, if it's just there to just be Ryan Reynolds swinging his dick around, it's just not going to work for me.
That's what brings the ladies.
Which great. Hey, listen, if Ryan Reynolds brings swinging dick and ladies to the fucking theater, then that's great. You know,
his humor brings me to his Deadpool, and I like it. But I think you have a point. Adding some heart would be really great.
Yeah, that's what made the first Deadpool work a lot. Was like with the misses. The second one, it worked because the stakes were high, but he still had too much carte blanche where to the point where it's not as good as the first one. So you need to up what really made the first one work, which is the high stakes, the heart, and all this kind of stuff, and put it in there. But make it tragic, like make it tragic in the sense that that's what makes you root for the character more. If it's just him being a dickhead, it's just like, oh, fucking kill him off TVA, just do him in, you know. So I'll just look at.
I mean, I recently watched Deadpool 1 and 2 with some of my friends that they're more casual, they're more casual, and it made me more excited for the movie because just watching them have so much fun. Like they had seen Deadpool 1 and 2, but they hadn't seen it in a long time, and just like them watching it and just enjoying laughing with my friends and stuff like that about it. It's just like, I don't know, because I was kind of the same as you. I'm kind of like, okay, it's going to be a cameo fest. All it's going to be is Wolverine and Fox X-Men and Fantastic Four's greatest hits and all of and Elektra and all these other things that are from the Fox universe. By the way, I have no idea who's going to show up besides what's been in the trailers. I'm just guessing. I doubt Affleck's going to show up, but we'll see. But anyway, I don't know. It was kind of watching with like a couple casuals. It was kind of nice, like it was nice to laugh with them about it. And even though I knew it was kind of like, okay, this is a little bit meh, it was still fun. So I don't know. It kind of rejuvenated my excitement for it.
I want to see more mercenary style.
I don't think you're going to see that in this one.
Not in this one. You're not going to get that in this one. This one's basically just hunt Wolverine, bring him in, kind of.
Okay.
I remember believing that Deadpool was based off of Ryan Reynolds back in the 90s. No, he wasn't, because Ryan Reynolds wasn't even a thing when Deadpool was created.
Somebody did bring up a good point. They're hoping that the whole movie isn't like She-Hulk the season finale, but a movie.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm hoping it's not also. Like
yeah, I agree. Guys.
I want to talk about Star Wars. But if you guys don't want to talk about it, that's fine.
Well, we haven't talked about X-Men, but
have fun, everyone.
See you, Christine. Right. Take care. Not Star Wars yet. Well, actually, we're going to do X-Men first, and then we'll come to Star Wars.
Yeah. So X-Men 97, yeah.
So X-Men 97, it was fun while it lasted, but I think it will be bowing out after season 2, because they've announced the showrunner for season 3, and it's garbage. He is one of the head writers for What If, which is the most boring fucking thing I've ever laid my eyes on. He also helped write Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that's what scared me.
Okay. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, that's it. He's not going to come with this with any love or heart. He's not a fan the same way Bo DeMaio was a fan. And so enjoy what they do with season 2 because it's Bo DeMaio's writing. But that's it. It's game over. Cheeto, your thoughts?
I mean, I really felt like season 1 was like an MCU moment for the animated universe. Like, okay, we like the Iron Man MCU of the animated universe. We were finally going to dig into this animated universe and get some good shit out of Marvel animation. You know what I mean? Like, and with X-Men 97, like, and we did. And I felt like it was going to spin off from there and be like, they're talking about doing Spider-Man 98 or whatever. They're talking about doing the Avengers 2000 show, like, based in this universe. You know what I mean? Like, and I thought we might actually be getting this stuff. And it's just like, I can't no, if they screw the pooch on season 3, they're going to lose all steam. And this does not even remotely make me happy at all.
Nobody's happy with this. Like, everyone's opinions are just like, just bring Bo DeMaio back. I don't give a shit. Like, he's clearly not done anything too controversial. And if they're judging him on his past, it's not very woke of you, Disney, to be honest. If he's a pain in the ass to work with, fine. When you bring him in, put a clause in his contract to say, hey, listen, just rein it in. Okay, you don't need to be this, that, and the other. They've done it with people before. Hey, Jesus Christ! Somebody turn the vibrator on.
Not me.
Not me.
That's you.
No.
It wasn't. I don't think it was on my end. I could hear it. So.
Oh, I know what it would be.
It's you. Guys.
Yeah, it is him because and it went away.
Yeah. You must have turned something on. But yeah, this is like really frustrating. They should have grabbed some talent from the DC animated universe.
Could you imagine if they brought Bruce Timm over? Oh my god!
No, I don't want fucking Tim over.
Oh come on!
No, I love Bruce Timm, but he's DC for me. I don't want him in the Marvel universe. I would have wanted like the head writers of like Under the Red Hood.
Oh yeah,
things like that. And Gaz.
Yeah, like I agree with what you two say. Like the guy who wrote the first episode. I mean, that season was just so brilliant. I mean, like all of us were gushing on how good it was. I mean, like it is a very well. No, it is by PS4.
Funny thing is, it's shaped like Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, like the X-Men 97, the first season was great. I mean, like all of us were going on about. I mean, it is a very, very, very heavy consideration from all of us for good losses. So, and as I said, like this other guy. I mean, I agree with what you say, Paddy. Like if he's written What If and stuff like that, I mean, those shows don't have any heart to them. And I tend to bet it'll just be some generic trash going, oh, we can't have anything that upsets like, the people who talk about woke all the time, so therefore we just have to put some generic crap out there. So we give those people fodder, basically. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, just vanilla. Like, I don't want vanilla. I want people like Bo DeMaio. Bo DeMaio are people that are just like, fucking balls to the wall, mate. We're going to give you everything and make you fucking go, oh, shit. Because if we had the What If writer come in and do X-Men 97, I'll put my left nut on the line to say none of us would have been talking about it. Would have been like, this is shit. Get rid of it. It's as bad as What If. Like, What If is just fucking abysmal. Like, abysmal. I've tried to go back to it. I can't. It's awful. It's just so boringly bland. And if this is what we're going to get with X-Men 97, kiss my ass. Goodbye. It's killed the animated universe, which at least you and I were looking forward to, and it's so crushing. It's like bringing in like fucking Amy Pascal and being like, here, I'm going to redo all of Spider-Man. It's just like, oh, you and Avi Arad need to fuck off out of Sony Pictures.
No, it's like them bringing in Taika Waititi to do the next Avengers movie. That too.
Oh my God. I don't think that guy, that guy's not going to be working.
Joel Schumacher's coming in to do the next Avengers movie.
Listen.
I know.
I will take Joel Schumacher without John Peters. It's John Peters that ruined Joel Schumacher's career. Joel Schumacher gave us Falling Down, which is one of my all-time favorite films.
What amazing film that is.
An amazing film.
Mm-hmm.
Joel Schumacher is a great director. John Peters ruined that fucking guy. All right, Showgirls was a pile of shit as well, but hey, we all loved and appreciated it for what it was, even for it being so bad it's good. But if you told me Joel Schumacher was coming in to do a superhero film without executive producers interfering, I'd have been all over that. He's dead anyway, but still, just want to make.
I forgot he was dead.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, I did. I forgot.
Yeah, he died quite a while ago. But I'll take Schumacher in a heartbeat. It's just I just feel bad for the guy because John Peters was just like, toys. We want toys, fucking toys, and make it kiddie crap. Anyway, I could bang on about John Peters all day because he was the first person that made me absolutely hate executive producers with a blind passion. Didn't start with Kathleen Kennedy. It started with him, and then it started with Avi Arad as well, and how he destroyed Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man 3 has his stink all over it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but X-Men 97. I hope we're wrong, but we're not going to be wrong. It's just one of those, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, like really?
No, and but that's it really for Marvel stuff. Nothing else really has been announced yet. Oh, we've got San Diego Comic-Con coming up soon.
Oh, I forgot
and
about
they're
that.
going to have a panel there. So let's
Which is
see.
weird. They're releasing Agatha and Brave New World and all these things when they could have been releasing it at Comic-Con.
Yes.
That's kind of why I'm like, really? Like,
Yeah, it's weird, but I'm hoping they've done that so they can add more stuff or just announce a new slate of stuff, because Blade is in trouble again. You know,
they just need
people
to
are
scrap
walking
it. They just need to scrap it until they're ready. Like,
I agree.
And
I
I'm
agree.
starting to think Mahershala Ali is the problem here.
you think Mahershala Ali? I can't never say his name right, but you think he's the
Mahershala
problem?
Ali, he's the problem.
Oh,
I think
okay.
he's the problem. He's the one that's been difficult to work with because everyone else has left. He's still on the project, which doesn't bode well.
Yeah.
That just means we've got
Process of elimination
we've
at
got-
that point.
Yeah, we've got Wesley Snipes point 2.0, and at this point, just scrap the film. No point.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it.
Just recast him and put him in the Midnight, like make him show up in Midnight Suns. Like make the crux of Midnight Suns like be something with Blade, but that brings them all together. You know, like I don't know.
No arguments here. But yeah, there you go. They're saving the best. She-Hulk season 2 for Comic-Con.
I think they've already haven't they canceled it?
Yeah, they've cancelled
Officially?
it.
Yeah.
Everything's just cancelled now. So
I mean, I don't blame them for going back to the drawing board with how bad it's been. Like, as much as I didn't mind the Marvels, there were still some very big issues there. And there's been some very big issues overall with Marvel for a long time at this point. You know? So
yeah, I mean, look, like I said, like Disney have effectively just killed my love for everything, because it's had a knock-on effect now. Because like Sony, like if Sony are making Street Fighter, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It's Sony doing Street Fighter.
I want to see that. It could be fun.
I don't want to see Sony do it. I want to see like another company do it. I don't want to see Sony do it, unfortunately. So they're doing Street Fighter. So
is it
just
animated or is it live action?
No, live action.
Live
action.
So are they going to have Jean-Claude Van Damme be Bison this time?
Yeah, that's it.
Are you man enough to fight? No, fight with me. Oh.
The day Bison rode into your village was the greatest day of your lives. To me, it was just.
It was
Tuesday.
And you know what?
Great line.
You can still have Ming Yang Wei still play Chung Li, right? That's who she played.
Yes.
Yeah, she could still play Chung Li, and she
in that film.
Oh my god, yes. Like, but you could still have her play because she looks almost the same. Like, you could still have her play that role.
Yeah, but I'm not looking forward to it unless it's so bad that it's just like, yeah, I've got to watch it. You know, there's always
the role is not in it anymore, which is a shame. But like, if they could get a great actor to be Ed Bison, I'm with it.
Yeah. I think for M. Bison, don't just get fucking generic, dude. You got to Raul Julia up. M. Bison, you know, we were spoiled
he's like
with Raul
proper,
Julia.
like, good but campy actor.
It's gonna be Arnold.
Yeah.
Are you man enough to fight with me? I know that's not Bison's line. The day that Arnold rolled into your village was the best day of his life. Like,
yeah, I love that. Yeah, but no, he's too old.
Yeah, I know.
There's plenty of good. You can get. If you were taking it serious, then yeah, I'd get like Hemsworth to play like Ken, or Guile. You know, Ryu.
I'd get Hemsworth to play. Why am I forgetting the green guy's name?
Blanca.
Blanca, yeah, I get him to play Blanca.
Why not? Yeah, why not? Why not?
He just plays all the roles that gets hammed up anyway. So, and he loves wearing fat suits for some reason.
Play Bison. Oh God, no.
No.
Can you imagine?
That was so
thank
annoying.
you. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
no,
let's go.
Ryan Reynolds to play Vega.
No, Ryan Reynolds should play nobody. Ryan Reynolds should fuck off. That's it. The end. Gaz, you wanted to talk about Star Wars?
Yes. Have you seen the Acolyte, GJ?
Nope. Not watched a single minute of it. And this, you can thank Disney for this. I've watched all the reviews of it, but I've not watched it any.
Right. You've not seen? Have you seen the ritual scene?
Yes, the power
but,
of one, the power of many, or whatever.
Oh
it is.
my god, that's so cringe. But say that it wasn't as bad as the last episode, but yeah, apparently the actress who is in this is complaining that a lot of people don't like it because of race issues. And it's like, no, people don't like it because it's shit. That's why people don't like it.
It's just
honestly, I don't have too much of a problem with it because it's Jedi stuff that's like outside the Skywalker saga. So I'm interested to see finally something outside the Skywalker saga that is Jedi centric. Like I want to see what they do with this. And honestly, I don't think it's that terrible. I'm not saying it's great, but I don't think it's like.
No, it is bad. Like for example, the last episode was like I gave it a -5, and I stick by that framing. Because basically what happened was, because everything that the Jedi philosophy is about, which is about accountability, not using violence, because like the lesbian space witches, sorry, I hate using that term, but I'm just going to use it. But like, we're trying to protect the kids and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, like, she turns into black smoke. Don't ask, it's just part of the Flame show. And then all of a sudden, the flaming nice Jedi stabs her through the flaming chest with his lightsaber. And then all of a sudden, and then she goes, "I was gonna give you Osha. She wanted to be with you." Yeah, that.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like Gaz is racist. Is what it really sounds like.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it is. That's what it is. I mean, that's all. Yeah. When you make fun of anyone's acting, no matter how bad it actually is, if they're a minority or anything like that, like you are you just can't do that, Gaz.
Yeah, that's right. But no, look, the thing is. I've seen enough to not need to see anything like in terms of like, again, when things follow a pattern, how things are written, all of this kind of shit. And from the reviews that I've been watching, that I've just like, wow, how do you shit the bed so bad and be so inconsistent and take away such of the good parts of the law, or just what they've done to it? Lads, let's explore the topic. Thoughts on Vietnam. We're not doing politics now. We're doing TV and film. Sorry, mate. King Chris, if you're coming at 9 o'clock on a Friday night, we start with politics. But now we're going to finish off into the nice realm of TV, which, you might get a bit of politics in this bit. But the point is, this Acolyte is the epitome of Kennedy's stubbornness to kind of listen to the crowd. I know some of the crowd are toxic, but there's the contingent of the crowd that are just saying, Andor, hello, you just fucking had Andor. How do you go from Andor, which was sound and logical and well-told story, to whatever the fuck this is? And what this is the narcissistic sociopaths of Hollywood saying, we're going to take a huge shit on your property. This is worse than the writers that come along and say, we're going to do it our way. This is an entire contingent of executives that said, Acolyte is going to be a big fuck you to everything that you loved and enjoyed. We're going to bring in somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, and it's very clear they don't know what they're doing, and they just have an agenda, and that agenda is to just do whatever the fuck they want, not understand the law, and take a huge shit on it. A bit like Ryan Johnson did as well, okay? And it's just everything I keep seeing and hearing, I'm just like, how the fuck did they get away with this crap? Like, at this point in time, is anyone watching this show?
No.
Is anyone giving a shit? Because this is the first Star Wars I've not watched. Like, from the minute I saw the first trailer, I was just like, and then I started seeing the interviews. I was like, okay, you know what? I can't be bothered. I've got no love for this shit. Star Wars and Marvel stuff has just become too fucking toxic and boring to play with now for me personally. Hi, Winnie. Welcome. Cheeto, your thoughts?
I mean, I've already kind of said that with the Acolyte. I've been watching it. I mean, I get people's issues with it. You know, and there are issues with it. I'm not saying that, and honestly, a lot of the controversy surrounding it is more exhausting than the actual show sometimes. You know what I mean? Like sometimes watching it, just sitting back and enjoying it. And there are some good episodes, like episode 5. And I thought this past episode was actually pretty good. But you know, the toxicity of some of this stuff is what exhausts me about it. You know what I mean? Like I see people online and it's like I almost want to be like, look, you know, like you're not giving me reasons why it's bad. You're giving me reasons why you don't like it. Like there's a difference. You don't like it.
Yeah.
Like Rick B sitting there talking about lesbian space witches, like or whatever, you know, like in the comments above here. It's like that doesn't like. First off, I haven't seen any lesbian anything. Like I haven't seen it. 2 chicks making out on there. So shut up. Like me and Rick B have been going at it on
that's
Facebook.
The one that called it lesbian space witches, and Rick was just like, that's the PC term.
Oh well, but regardless, it's like, you know, give me like good reasons why you don't like it. And as I said, I get it. I get there are issues with it. No, it's not perfect, but I still think there are some things to enjoy. I'm just thankful that we are getting Star Wars that is outside the Skywalker saga. And here's the thing. I wish this was better. I do. I wish this was better because I want them to do things outside. But now everybody shits on the Acolyte. It's not safe in the Skywalker saga. So now they're going to go back to the Skywalker saga for everything. We're not.
That's because they're not learning the lessons of telling a good story. That's the problem.
I get that. As I said, I understand that. And those are the issues that's a good reason not to like it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm able to kind of turn my brain off and just watch it, you know, and like enjoy kind of like those elements of it. But I get the lore breaking things. I get the things
fine. And the thing is that I want to enjoy it because it's been written by somebody who's from minorities or lesbian, and it's been written from a woman's perspective, which is fine, which is what I want to celebrate this, because the thing is that it's such a portrayal of the characters and the philosophy that we've been sold of the Jedi, and that's the problem that I have. I mean, I don't care if everybody was green. You know, I don't care. It's the fact that I'm supposed to ingest into a philosophy that we've been told is like this good philosophy, and Sith are the ones who lie, and Sith are the ones who kill, and Sith are the ones who betray. No, the Jedi do it as well. It's just like, well, thanks a lot for investing my time into a bunch of people who lie.
Well, look, I don't mind. Look, the thing with all institutions, there's always corruption. There's always all of this, and you know, the Jedis are the ones telling you the story that we're this, we're that, we're that, and you know, history might show them, yeah, okay, they're the ones that they're protectors and all this kind of shit. But the reality is, you can have elements of those that toe the line of thinking they're really good, but their actions are really shit, or they're doing bad things, or they're a corrupt institution. If they delved into that and did it right, because funnily enough, when I heard about those kind of things that were kind of happening, I was just like, ooh, but they've just done it really badly. So I don't mind that. That's not a law that's concrete. There's other parts like the, you know, Anakin no longer being the one that was born, created, like virgin birth type thing. They give it to like those bints and all this.
I think that's actually inaccurate, though. I think that they were naturally born, but they were manipulated by the dark side to be twins or something like that. Like it wasn't miraculous conception. I think it was.
Well, no, the vibes I'm getting is that it's miraculous conception. Like they were born.
I don't think so. I think they said something about
they were created.
Maybe they were. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's also the speculation they've put behind Anakin's thing. Like Darth Plagueis and Palpatine were the ones that helped create Anakin and all this kind of shit. But then they've taken that away and they've put it here. So it's things like that. But if they did have things where they showed you like, and you know, the Jedi aren't perfect, and there are conflicts, and they do cover up certain things and all this kind of shit, that would have been intrigue. That could have been what kind of, you know, if they did it even further back and that kind of leads to fracturing and more Sith being born out of that kind of shit, then that would have been cool. But what we've got at the moment, it's just not gripping me. Like the only thing I'm looking forward to is Andor Series 2. That's it. And anything else that working on Star Wars, I couldn't give a fuck about. I couldn't.
Well, they're so non-committal about all of it anyway. I mean, they've like canceled and uncanceled like several projects, like, and then all of a sudden we think something's canceled, and then oh boy, by the way, here it is, like it's ready to go. Like, I think Visions was Visions ones that was canceled, and then all of a sudden they came out with the season 2. I don't.
Yeah,
like
I think so. Visions,
like what? Yeah, the Star Wars is all over. They don't have a concrete plan, like at all. Period.
They don't, because Kennedy doesn't know what she's fucking doing. She can't commit to anything, and she hates everything that other people do. And then she'll just commit to the most dumbest shit or change things. Like Kenobi, there was so much interference with Kenobi, and people who've been following us from the beginning know how much I championed Deborah Chow, because her episodes of the first series of Mandalorian were the best. But she wasn't allowed to do what she wanted to do in Kenobi, and then we got this hollow garbage. And that's what fucks me off. And that's why I like Andor, because Andor comes in and just says, you know what? No fan service. No this, no that. This is what you're going to get, and you're going to fucking like it. And you know what? People fucking liked it. I hate hollow, like back in the day, like it's become so. The problem is you create something, you fail because you do it really badly, and then you rely on nostalgia to win back that audience. And nostalgia bait just doesn't work anymore. It worked for a bit. It's not because you've overdone it now. It's the last grasp of a failed creative team to go down the nostalgia route. And this is what fucking Star Wars has become. Now it's like every time we're going to just do nostalgia bait. We're going to do that. It won't be long till Marvel starts doing nostalgia bait and bringing back fucking Tony Stark and all this kind of stuff. I tried to watch fucking Beverly Hills Cop, and I was just like, oh no, I'm done with that. That was just awful anyway. But the nostalgia could have worked there, but it was just a bad film anyway. But the thing is, then just stop. You need to have the balls to say, we are going to be different, but we're going to do it really well. Acolyte tried to do it. It missed the mark, and it's unfortunate. And I don't listen to the toxic fandom. Like, if you want to put 50,000 black women in it, I don't give a shit. You know, make it good. Like, just make it good. And that's all that matters. But they've just missed the mark here, unfortunately. But if there are people enjoying it, that's fine. You know what I mean? But for me, like, proper change will come when Kennedy goes. It's as simple as that. And Gilroy is given the license. But
the example that we talked about earlier of doing good nostalgia bait is X-Men 97, where they take the nostalgia, but they honor it and they lift it up, and they expand on it, but they do it in a way that enriches everything, about it.
Because they had a great writer behind it, who is not just a writer, he's a fucking huge X-Men fan. And he grew up with Claremont, like he worships Claremont. And so when you bring somebody like that in, they'll give you the nostalgia stuff, but at the core, what did he do? He did a good story that kept us captivated and motivated, and we didn't give a shit which X-Men was in it or who was in it. It was just, the story was so good, we were just enjoying the ride. And we were captivated by it. And not everything was perfect. We did say, like, they rushed a lot of things, like the Goblin Queen and all this kind of stuff. And that's fine. But it more than made up for it by having an overall brilliant story. And you're right. X-Men 97 is a great example of nostalgia bait. But it's, again, it's a weird one because it's just like a continuation of the old series. So yeah, they're going in for that nostalgia feel and all of that, but it just came in and it just it's just one of those that it's just done right. As nostalgia bait as everything, it's done right. Or Star Wars, it's just done badly. Oh, here, Chewie, here's your medal. Like, what the fuck is this? That kind of stupid shit. Oh, here's a Millennium Falcon. Okay. What's the context for it? Here's Billy D. Williams. Okay, what's he doing there? I don't know. That kind of.
Oh, look, this whole fleet showed up. What are they doing here? Oh.
Yeah, this kind of stupid shit. It's just like, oh, stop it, And that's why I don't want, like, Filoni or Favreau anywhere near the franchise either because they just do.
I don't
that
mind
shit.
them doing individual projects, but I mean, like them
Yeah.
taking over, like.
Well, Filoni,
Zangief-
no, he's boring. Like he bores the shit out of me. I don't like his stuff. You know, it just anyway. It's a dead franchise. It's dead on its ass. I don't think any new film's going to excite anyone. If producers who are just again narcissistic, sociopathic, stubborn fucks who double down every time, and the franchise does deserve to fail. It's as simple as that. So yeah, that's Star Wars. Anything else anyone want to talk about before we close out?
Is there anything I want to talk about?
I mean, nothing crazy in Star Trek news, which I know we talk about other places anyway. The Paramount. I do talk about the Paramount Skydance merger. I mean, I know that mostly for me Star Trek, but I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, like, you know, for other stuff.
I think it's bad for Skydance, to be perfectly honest, because Paramount suck. They're just as bad as any other studio. The stuff that they churn out is dog shit. They haven't made a good film in God knows how long. And so, yeah. What franchises do Skydance have again? I forget.
I think, do they really have any franchises?
I think the IP they have is Skydance.
I don't think they have any big IPs.
Oh, then, you know.
That I
it's
know
just
of,
bad.
but
Anyway. But I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest. Like, there aren't any good. Like I said, if it's not A24, I just don't want to know these days. I'm just not interested. I'm hoping like we get more like fucking Jordan Peele just going out there and just fucking putting his name on random shit, like he did with Monkey Man, and took the credit for it, even though it had nothing to do with it. But still.
Baywatch. There you go. There's your winner right there.
Baywatch. Okay. So we're get like
Terminator Dark Fate. There you go. There's your franchise.
Jesus Christ.
He did. They did. I think they did production on a lot of. They did production on a lot of Mission Impossibles. Snake Eyes. G.I. Joe. They can. I think they mostly do production. I don't think they're a studio though.
I think GG wasn't a fan of that.
They did Top Gun Maverick. They were involved in that. I don't know if they were.
Yeah, fucking propaganda bollocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
in that case, I don't really care then. Like, you know, it doesn't really mean anything. That kind of merger. It's who buys Paramount Studios that I'll be more worried about.
Yeah,
they're not making money.
Right.
Buck
Guys,
Rogers.
If they want to do the Soldier Break, where's my Mask film and where's my bloody He-Man film? That's the only two properties that I give a fuck about now.
I mean, He-Man was under Netflix and then they scrapped it. I think they're going back to it now because they've actually cast He-Man.
Yes, they have.
So, good casting choice as well.
And Mask. And please give me Mask. I want to see
And I
transforming
want
fucking vehicles.
Mask is such an easy film to do. It's so easy to do. I wouldn't have Scott and T-Bob in it because I hated those characters.
I hate those as well.
Yeah. Nobody fucking liked them. But there was this mentality in Hollywood where you need to stick a kid in every cartoon because it's relatable. Kids didn't like the kids. They were jealous of that kid. Yeah, I've just got to let my cat out.
He gets a transforming bloody robot. Yeah, like that's exactly what I want.
Fuck about. Yeah, exactly. But I want my Mask film. It's not hard to make. Or you can do a TV series. Come on, cat.
Yes. The original series was cool, but I want something new. I want like transforming cars, shooting rockets at each other. Hell yeah.
That's it. But it's not like obviously in the cartoon, you know, Thingy wasn't an antiques dealer, but I'd go when they redid the comic books a couple of years ago, it was more like weapons manufacturers and Miles Mayhem betrays him and all this kind of stuff. I'd go down that route.
Yes.
Rather than the antiques dealer stuff. Because you're an antiques dealer with a fucking bunch of transforming cars, it just doesn't make any fucking sense.
I want the thing looking like the base looking like it did, and I want the flaming just I just want just dumb fun. That's what
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like too serious. It could be like just kind of a light-hearted, fun, kind of like Lethal Weapon type kind of banter humor, all of this kind of shit. Just a very simple storyline of stop Venom from exporting huge arms to like dictator regimes or something.
And also the masks have to have the special powers they had in the show.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the selling point. The mask and the transforming vehicles.
Yeah.
If you don't give us that, then I'm not interested.
Right. Hey, Ginger, before you wrap up, did you see what I got? I sent it in the chat. Did you see what I got this week?
No.
You sent it in what chat?
Oh, I would.
Look at the screen.
Oh, very nice.
How much did that cost you?
Huh?
How much did that cost?
One more time.
How much did it cost?
Oh, like $15, I think.
That's nothing.
I mean, it's hardback and it's so good. Oh,
that's a great.
I need to actually read that because there are new things coming out about it. I need to read that again.
I know they're making a game of it, but I think now they're also making a film of The Last Ronin.
No way.
Well,
they got to make it gritty though. They can't Nickelodeon it.
No, they are. There's they're doing like either an R-rated animation of The Last Ronin, or I might be wrong, and it's just an R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. But yeah, what is it? A Thai Bride? No, you wish. He-Man film is coming from Amazon next year. Thank you, Rick B. Yeah, that's it. Not Netflix, Amazon. Mask vehicle rock. I've still got all my mask vehicles. They're in the loft. Fucking love it.
The mouse the flaming, the transforming car, the flaming. I love masks so much. Is that transforming?
Yeah, it was just great. I remember when my dad just randomly went and bought me Boulder Hill. I was just like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. That was great.
Oh,
but yeah, The Last Ronin though. Yeah, great comic book. If nobody's ever read it, go fucking read it. It's just awesome.
I can't wait. Like if they screw the game up, I will literally find whoever like made the game, go to their house, and I will literally kill them in their sleep. Like that is a promise. Like you cannot screw this up. I've been waiting for Good Ninja Turtles since 2007. That's the last time we had Good Ninja Turtles. Even Turtles Forever. I don't remember what year that came out, but still,
2016.
That was not 16, was it?
It was. Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
Turtles Forever?
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Which one's Ninja Turtles Forever? Is that the game?
The animated one where they crossed over with the 80s ones and.
Oh, that's 2012.
Was it?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So, regardless, I've been waiting.
2012 when that series came out, when they did the actual crossover episode.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but that was a really good one.
I'll find out. I'm going to do it. Forever. 2009.
2009.
So, yeah. So 2007 was the TMNT movie, which was really good, and then the CGI one. And then Turtles Forever 2000. So we've been waiting over 10 years for Good Ninja Turtles. Please give us.
Yeah, because Mutant Mayhem was dog shit. All the series they've done since have been shit. Stop making it for kids. Just stop making it for kids.
Yeah.
Just stop it.
Listen, I don't mind if they make stuff for kids, but make stuff for us too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but you keep making it for kids and it keeps flopping at the box office. So stop it.
No.
Just
you can make it for kids, but also make it for adults at the same time. You know what I mean? You can do both.
Yeah, but it's Paramount, isn't it? They're incapable of understanding that. So, but fuck them kids. Make it for adults. That's what I say. Adults rule. We're the number one toy consumers now in the planet. Okay, the toy market is officially now mainly adults. Kids aren't buying toys anymore. All right, that's why the toy market for adults is booming. That's why you have so many new smaller studios that have come out recently doing stuff that doesn't even have a TV show or isn't licensed, and it's selling like fucking hotcakes because it's adjacent to. It looks a bit like G.I. Joe. It looks a bit like He-Man, or it looks a bit like this and that. and it's selling like gangbusters. So, you know, Super 7, it's a company that does have license. That had a group of people under them called Four Horsemen. They splintered off and created their own company, and they've just made stuff that looks very similar to like He-Man, Thundercats, and all that, but isn't. And they're making fucking bank. They're selling like gangbusters because that's where the money is. So if you want your toys to sell, you got to market it towards adults now. That's just how it goes. So I'm just saying. No more fucking PG shit. Let's see. But I agree, and I'll help. Was that one from last summer not good? No, Mutant Mayhem was awful. Awful.
It wasn't as good as it should have been.
Listen, it was good for a kids movie. Like, but if you're an adult, it's not what you want from Ninja Turtles, in my opinion. Like, Mutant Mayhem was good for kids. Like, if I sat like a 8-year-old in front of it, they would have a blast, and that's fine if that's their target audience. My problem is, and I don't mind them making stuff for kids. The problem is that they don't make good adult or at least teen leaning things. We had like as I said, Turtles Forever. We had the Batman versus TMNT movie that actually was pretty good. Like stuff like that. But it's like they don't expand on that. They don't do that. We need stuff for us, the adults, because we are the assholes who want to get pleased.
Well, I mean, the thing is that like what Mutant Mayhem did was that he went, did anyone see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Let's must wait that, but TNT. It's just like no.
But even Across the Spider-Verse kind of delved into some teen themes. Like it wasn't like geared towards little kids like Mutant Mayhem was.
Yeah, I mean, Mutant Mayhem was just it was just boring. I didn't like it at all. It was just really did my head in. But fuck, Gaz just said something there, and now I've just lost my track of thought because it was on something that you said, and now I can't remember it. Brilliant.
I was talking about Mutant Mayhem being a rip-off of Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, and what did I want to splinter off from that? I can't remember. Yeah, I know Cheeto, it's adult stuff. Yeah, it's completely fucking gone. Never mind. On that note, I'll end the stream. I want to go to bed. Thank you to those who joined us. Zam was not with us today. I don't know why, but he'll be back. And everything will be back to normal next week. I may or may not be around. As I said before, it's always mood dependent with me. On that note, thank you to everyone who commented. Thank you to all my co-hosts for joining me. And wherever you are, let normality. Bye.